Sorry about that, guys. Look, straight up, we are using Exetel. We were meant to cross over to Telstra
Business MDM.
before the outbreak, because Exetel is notoriously bad, especially in this area. And look, we do not recommend using any of these small-time carriers like Exetel for doing these live streams, because unfortunately you are going to have problems like this. Use mainstream groups like Optus and Telstra, especially with the NBN, in a bad way as is. So we lost all that bit at the start. So look, what we're going to be doing is looking at your Centes scene in here in Australia.
Yep.
Now, it is big here in Australia. We do have a lot of the Latin community here. And we're going to cover a lot.
Especially in Sydney, mate.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like
there
there are tons of Latin skinheads up in Sydney, and they're very prominent members of the sharp scene in Australia, and also Rash. So you know, it's right up our fucking alley.
Well, that's right. And this week we are covering Latino, and next week we are covering Latina with an interview with a Colombian band who have been long-time friends of mine.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about Latin American issues and Indigenous punk in Latin America and its relation here in Australia. And we're going to also, but as you know, we did the Johnny Kahn interview previously. Now we're going to explore that a bit more, because I didn't get all the information out because it was my first interview. But there will be more podcasts like that will be better, and we will re-explore that interview again with Johnny.
Yep.
So yeah, we will cover that. So what are some of the other things we're covering?
Okay, yeah, we're also talking about Australian punk bands in general. There's a real push for me at the moment, just doing reviewing some really good local and also national punk acts.
That's right.
Because we're trying to actually connect up the punk scene with, the Europe and also America.
Well, actually, what we have got underway at the moment is we are linking Melbourne, Sydney, up with LA and San Jose. I'll have to look it up, but it's the southern end of Baja.
Yeah.
It's one of the 10 Balis that were put around the world for Australians. So you get cheaper flights there, and that it's a beautiful place. Aussies have a great time there. So we're going to try and link this Pacific Baja connection and make it easier for bands travelling between the two countries, going through the Pacific. Hawaii, of course. Shout out to all the boys in Hawaii when I stopped off there a couple of years ago. Mate, they're great.
Yeah.
They are really good boys. And there's a couple of fair skin boys I met over there. It was really nice. And when I was on the plane, I forget his name, there was a famous Hawaiian skater, Polynesian skater from America I was actually sitting next to, and we had a really interesting talk about culture and history and things like that.
Yeah.
So if you're watching the show, mate, get in contact with us. I haven't heard from you in a couple of years. It'd be good to see where you got.
Yeah, this also expands onto what another thing of our subjects as well, and that's about unifying probably the Punks Pub Crawl and the Punks Picnic. Getting some of the interchanges of bands going on, because there's not enough punks going to the pub crawl anymore or the picnic anymore.
Yeah, well, that's right. We really need to start pushing the scene heavily here in Australia, which is why we're trying to get the backup from America and their arts to really back us up and encourage us and help us out a lot, because they do have far better production values there.
But yeah, we're also going to be talking about experiences in the Melbourne punk scene and in the punk scene in general in Australia. We'll talk about some of the stories, all that type of stuff that we have, and also talk about the Cosmic Psychos and their influence of grunge and Nirvana.
Well, yes, this is very true. Like all the old school bogans, such as myself, and I know you guys down here think of all the races and stuff and all the rest. But my family pretty much are upper middle bogan. My sister's probably laughing at that right now, but yeah, it's true. She used to race cars and all the rest. And I've got Aboriginal mates who are bogan as well, and they fully identify as bogan, still race cars and all the rest. So for us, when we were in the Kimberley, it was never anything racist about bogan. It was just, I guess you'd say, car-loving country punks, because you go to places like Broome, you could find a lot of punk music on the jukeboxes there in both Broome and Derby, which is just out in the middle of nowhere, baby.
One thing that you know about Latin culture is cars are fucking huge.
Oh, yeah, look, I noticed this in Mexico.
Yeah.
They use the same cars we do, like all the Toyotas and stuff like that, and Fords. And Mexican taxi drivers, I love them. I got in this one taxi because the hotel organiser for me, because they're good friends, and they pretty much said drive like a Mexican. He was getting airborne over these jumps, and he realised, he's got a non-Mexican in the car, And he went, oh, sorry. And I said, no, mate, go faster. And he was just getting airborne over his bumps. He must have blown out his shockies. And it was the funniest thing. I absolutely love Mexican car culture. It is just insane, like us Kimberley boys, mate.
Also Mexican American car culture with the hydraulics and
yeah.
You know, they work on their cars a lot. You know, you don't. You know, especially Chicano and
Oh
all that
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stuff.
I've
you know,
got actually
Chicano
one of their
stuff,
cars
yeah,
on my thing when I was over at Mexicali. One of the cars is really nice, and I've actually one of the Chicanas is a friend of mine. Actually, I follow all this stuff on.
Yeah,
on Facebook.
yeah. Chicano, it's like a Mexican type of gangster culture. So it's like, you know, the neighborhoods, all that type of stuff. There's also an interesting fact about Chicano as well. There's a lot of goth Chicanos that have actually gone in there as well. So it's like there's a weird mixture that's coming up now.
But look,
And they do goth music.
The reason I focus on this Latin thing so much is because of the indigenous influences. Now, you see, with Latin punk, its indigenous influences are really good. I mean, they have really managed it. This is why we've got some of the music we have up tonight, which is indigenous punk from Latin America, and hardcore from Latin America. It is all about, you know, bringing in those indigenous values and music and showing Australian indigenous how other cultures do it, so they can apply it more and they can feel more part of our community, because it is very important to me, because I, well, as you guys like to say, by the R word, but I like to say cultural. Bicultural is not even the right word on many cultures. You know?
Well, you know, we don't really have that many. We don't really have that many new upcoming Aboriginal bands in Australia.
No, we don't. But it is a strong look. It is a strong industry. I mean, I grew up with Piggering Brothers back home. I'm actually hoping. I've messaged him. I've asked if Les Graham will do interview with us as well.
What's that indigenous band from the 80s?
Which one?
The one that said did the song Land Down Under, wasn't it?
That wasn't an indigenous band.
No,
You're talking about Men at Work.
No. Sorry, the other.
Which one are you talking about? My Island Home.
Basically the indigenous punk stuff.
Well, okay, now you're talking more reggae, so that's the whole Les Graham reference.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm not going to say anymore, and I want all you Aussies out there to look up Les Graham. I want you to look up Coloured Stone and all those other bands and learn about all the indigenous references and all the rest. Because I think you should, if you don't know it, you should go out and learn it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, like it's
no,
something.
I'm not saying anything wrong with it. Look, your mate didn't know anything about it, and that was cool. And I'm going to make him learn about it because he's your mate.
And now I feel.
You shouldn't feel any guilt or anything.
No, that's definitely not what I was going to say. Now I feel quite enlightened about it because it's basically the oldest culture in the world, and it's amazing to learn about. You know?
That's right. And then there are many bands out there. Like I grew up with scrap metal as well, which is where the Piggering Brothers come from.
I think it was that band or the other one. But yeah.
Well, didn't we talk? I put them up before. Desert Eagle Rock. They're like more of a heavy metal indigenous band from the desert, like where I come from. Their productions are really, really well done. Are there any comments coming up?
No, not at the moment.
No, that's right. I was just checking.
Okay, so yeah, you know, what we're going to talk about first is just Osentes and everything.
The Osentes thing.
Yeah, they okay, so the band which is in question, which is Johnny Hernandez is in.
Hey, Johnny.
And, few other guys and everything. Which are the Sydney? They're mostly a Sydney skinhead kind of crew of
Well, there's a Latin crew up there.
Yeah, and they do really that classic fast Latin punk, jumpy.
That's what we're just about to go to. Now, look, guys, if you want me to play your stuff, please. Can you please put it on YouTube, even if it's just a link for us? Because even the stuff I'm going to be putting up on Reverb Nation needs a YouTube link, unfortunately. So yeah,
let's turn it up a bit as well.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. Well, there you go. Now we're actually going to talk about this one because I do like this song. It actually hit all the points.
Yeah. See, this is the type of jumpy punk we like. But keep doing the good work, guys. And there are certain sections for us that are really good.
Yeah, no, it hits all the key points to that pump. It's got that feel, it's got that stuff, it's got that energy.
And I love it.
Dance.
I love the actual symbol there as well. It says Brute Australia with Latino ingredients.
Yeah.
So like.
Hey, look, all you farm boys in New South Wales are like this a little bit of wind up on the thing. But you must be all country boys, eh? Yeah, you know who that jungle's drinking with? Yeah, I can hear him swearing in the city.
One of those songs where you get to the wash pit and you spill your beer all over your girlfriend, all over yourself, and then you end up falling on top of your girlfriend.
That's not plastic.
You know what happens, boys. You get all jumpy and
Mate, I
stuff.
could be rooting and I wouldn't spill a drop.
I think it's just me. I'm clumsy. Yeah. That's a very good section, guys.
Yeah, it is. Now, actually, the reason we did want to talk about this, because I actually really enjoyed it. There was a problem, though. It actually all just come down to the mixing.
Yeah,
I mean, that song, it hit all the key points. But it's got to do with how the production was made. And it missed certain parts. My ears were just kicking me in the head for.
Yeah.
But the song was perfect in every way.
Well, what needs to be improved, especially of these live songs, boys and girls, especially if you've got like one of those really muddy kind of microphones, right? And you have like the microphone on your camera phone or whatever. You got to take all of the frequencies out of the audio below 100 hertz. You've got to basically do a big type of shelf type equalisation. You'll get rid of all that mud.
Yeah, that's right.
You don't really need to do much more, guys, because it's a live recording.
Yeah, it's a live recording.
It records every single instrument and your voice at once. Just get rid of the mud on the mix, and then you'll get a really clear and crisp mix. Yeah. It doesn't matter because it's live.
Now, didn't we cover this before last? I think it was last year. We covered this about recording live music at live shows. Yeah. And about microphone placement.
Yeah, microphone placement's very important. You can, especially in a room where there is actually a lot of, there's a lot of like bouncing of the audio. The audio bounces back a lot, so you got to get the sweet spots so that the frequency response to the speakers, the kick drum, everything, But also one thing as well. You record live, get your sound guy to record it through.
Yeah.
On the mixer, Then you've got yourself a live recording.
What about live recording filters and things like that, like through apps and things like that? Are they any good or? I know you're going to hate this because it's all algorithms and you're algorithms.
I have a look at what is. If you want to do something that is DIY, cheap and on the go, okay, right, do.
Look, no, I'm older than this boy, and he is like stuck in the past where I'm way in the bloody future.
Yeah, still do your videos on your phones and stuff and everything. There is also another thing as well, what you're talking about, okay? So, okay, I'll get what he was talking about. Alright, yeah, there are things that you can hook up to iPads and also phones. and you can actually do live sets with those with a PA systems and all that type of stuff.
Like we pretty much do.
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I've got myself one of these. This is an audio interface. I do a lot of recordings on that. I've actually gotten some really fucking good shit out on that. Like, you just plug it into a DAC and then, you know.
And look, the truth is, you're paying Apple, you're paying for the customer care, the security and everything, and the algorithm. You really are paying for the algorithms they write, and that they work with you doing sound equipment.
Oh, yeah. Apple are notorious for having... They're notorious for being industry leaders in audio and visual.
Well, that's right, and it makes our job a lot easier when we're going out there in the field and, you know, we're doing things. We've just got an iPad and it makes it a lot easier.
I just picked up an email or something, and I'm doing like a live set or something, whatever, you know, and my friend needs a preset, and I've only got the email on my phone. I just airdrop it over to the iPad that's being used with the box, because there's a little box that you could buy, which will hook up the instruments and hook out to a speaker. And basically you just airdrop the preset of the amplifier or whatever desired effects onto that iPad. And
that's right.
And then you just load it in and it's all done. And it's like, you know, that we do have to be a bit more autonomous in music. So things,
well,
especially
it's sort
last minute stuff.
Sorry, I was just going to continue on there, but it's sort of like the podcast. Well, it is like the podcast of the last night.
Exactly.
Now, when I got that podcast, we did that podcast, I had the Skype interview. Now, we stripped the sound off that. Now, I basically used the tablet to make that whole podcast. All those video effects, all of that was all done on a tablet. And we just stripped the sound out of it, airdropped it onto there, put it together, bang. It took something like 20 minutes in total to compile, and the longest it took about doing that was just uploading it.
Yep.
So, you know, at the end of the day, that's all you really need.
I did some basic EQ on it. You don't need to do loads of really technical stuff.
We could have got that equalizer on the iPad. We could have got the CD.
There is digital audio workstations on iPads and iPhones these days. It's just you know, if you are using an iPad, use a unity between a touch screen and a keyboard, because you can get all the keys and you can do all the other operations that you would do.
Which is actually what we're doing to this old laptop here when we're turning it into a production device. We're stripping the OS of it, putting on an Android one, work of apps because of the high quality conferencing.
Well, Linux one, but you can use Android apps.
Yeah, Android, but we're using Linux.
Yeah. So, you know, it basically, these days, computers have gotten so advanced, even with Linux these days. If you can't afford too much with software and all that, if you actually download and install Linux and you don't know what to do or whatever with, you know, computers and all that, Linux is actually really piss easy these days.
Well, Linux is easy now. Like back when I was a young bloke, it really was down to people who understood computers. But these days it's advanced so much, and it's quite handy for production value, especially DIY production, you know, when you need to save on software and stuff.
There is actually professional digital audio workstations Linux now as well. So that's what the point is with this. I'm covering all bases.
That's right, which is why we went into this, because we're going to end up having both. We're going to have the high end and the bottom end, and you can actually incorporate both.
I think on the iPad there is actually Fruity Loop Studio. I think there's actually, I think there might be a version of Ableton on there. But there are other audio workstations that you can use, and you know, I'd experiment with it. I might experiment with it in the future and give a full review on it, just to kind of give a perspective. And also give a full review on some of the more cheaper options out there for, you know, people who...
Well, look, when it comes to DIY, sometimes you've got to be cheap, but sometimes people will save up their pennies to buy expensive equipment because that's what they want to focus on themselves.
But yeah,
you should have both options.
As I said before, guys, when you're doing like a live recording like that, try and do it for the mixer of the actual sound guy, or actually just, if you've done the recording on your phone,
Yeah.
go into an audio editor, and just get a shelf type EQ and cut off all of that mud to about 50 hertz. Actually, 50 hertz. Actually, guys, not 150 hertz, because you'll get rid of the bass drum and also some of the key bass frequency. So cut it off at around about 20 or 50
that could
hertz.
that could be handy if you're on shit. They could just like cut the drum around.
No. It's actually better if you keep it. Despite what you think, the kick drum, it's actually better if you keep a kick drum in, so that the kick drum actually drowns out.
Yeah, but
all
you can
the
put a
shit
better
sounds.
drummer over the top of it. You could actually take out your whole drummer and put another
Just-
drummer over
no.
the top of it, and he would never be any of the white.
Ah.
So some of you bands out here will get the joke.
What?
Here.
What?
We'll definitely get the
You
joke.
guys are
here.
gonna hate me for this one.
Drummers
especially
are going to be
drummers.
wanting to kill me tomorrow.
You could use a drum machine.
That's it. We're gonna put all you drummers out of work. That's it. We're gonna put all you drummers out of work.
You guys are gonna get replaced by fucking technology soon.
Do you know tomorrow we are going to get shanked with fucking drumsticks, don't you? Right, drummers
Yeah.
around Australia are sharpening up their drumsticks as we speak to like shivers.
Yeah.
I mean, I would for that. But look, we do have to use drum machines in that Australia because it is hard getting drummers in Australia. I will say that it is hard getting drummers and good quality drummers in Australia. Not saying not good
They're
quality
always
drummers.
busy.
Yeah.
I was trying to track down a drummer ages ago in my last band, and I was going through networks of people.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
Jacob Curtis, who he's got a very good band project as well. Just check out Jacob Curtis's stuff. Many people on my friend list have him on there anyway. But yeah, check out his stuff. But he does drum lessons and stuff. So I went through him because he teaches all drummers,
Yeah.
so he knows if someone's free.
Yeah.
And even with that, So when you find a good drummer, and I'm pissing against the wall against this one,
Yeah, keep them. Keep them.
keep them around, be friends with them for fucking years. Because if you do a project years later, and they're
you
really
need a
good,
drummer, you're going to be thankful for that.
yeah, I
Because
really
as much
regret.
as we love hanging shit on you, it's because that's what you're there for. They are the kick drum of the band, obviously.
I really, really regret actually losing my old drummer Jimmy and losing contact with him.
Yeah.
He was amazing. He was actually one of the best drummers, and I was 16. He was 15 at the time when he was drumming, and today I still remember all the drum maps he went through.
Yeah.
It was like, and he was fucking amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I regret losing contact with him because, a good drummer is a difference between a good album and a shit album.
Well, that's right. And I think it's with any quality muso, you should always keep in contact, stay in contact. That's the first rule of networking. Because it might not be a muso you need, but somebody might come to you and say, hey, look, I need a drummer, I need a bassist, whatever. Do you know anybody? And you can pull out your little black book and say, hey, well, look, I've got an old mate here.
This puts me onto another thing, like definitely with services like Reverb Nation and all that type of stuff.
Now this is really important. SoundCloud and Reverb Nation both have their purposes. So you should have both. Look, as a promoter, Reverb Nation, I still have the original Reverb Nation promoter accounts. It's better, it's a lot easier to use Reverb Nation as a promoter.
You definitely, and I like this, guys, especially with you guys on Sentes, you definitely need multiple platforms.
Oh,
That
definitely.
is important.
Definitely.
So it's extremely important.
Even more than those two. Put out as many platforms as you can. Get on Spotify, get on Apple, get on as many as you can. Because the more places you are where people can access your music, the more likely they are to listen to your music. It's not about getting the maximum amount of dollar for your music. It's getting about the most amount of plays.
And it's about having fun. I know that you guys just wanted to go out. You want to go out there and make people jump up,
Yeah, and
smile.
enjoy it.
Have beers with them. And sing right in their faces. That's the kind of thing that you guys really enjoy, especially Latin punk, man.
Oh,
it
mate,
is
that's-
so bouncy.
Why do you think
it's
I
so
love? Why do you think
cool.
I love Latin
I
culture?
love it.
When I was at Mexicano,
Yeah.
it was amazing for this because it reminded me of Broome. You'd walk down the street at night, and then people would having a barbecue. They'd have the guitars out, and they'd be playing. You had someone out with the drums.
And
that's what
they'll
Broome
call
used to
you
be like.
over to try and play with them.
Oh, this actually happened
you
to
know.
me, and it was amazing because this used to happen in Broome. See, in Broome, we didn't get TV signals, even ABC, till 1987, and then we didn't get GWN until 1989, and then that was the only two till about 2001. So we didn't have any TV there. There was ABC for a while. So what people used to do is exactly the same as what Mexicans do. Now, I've shown people from Mexico photos of Broome in the past, and Broome down to clothes, even the clothes we wore were the same they wear in Mexico today, back then, sorry. The houses, everything was the same as Mexico. We even used to have siestas because if you know anything about the weather, you couldn't operate from about 11 o'clock to 1, 2 o'clock, so everyone would be asleep out the back of their shop, and then we would just be open till about 8, 9 at night, and we just had a different pattern, and then the 80s came in and we bought air conditioners, and that whole culture just suddenly disappeared away. So that's why Latin culture, for me, it's really familiar. It has that familiar old North Australian feel. And look, all you Latin Australians,
And
get up north and check it out. You will still see these little pockets of
I gotta say, you know, you make some of the best punk in the world.
Oh, they did.
Bar none. You know, like Non-Serviam, Los Festives.
Oh, my
you know,
favourite.
You know, like those bands, they have such a grit behind them.
They do.
And the voice especially, like,
Well,
you know,
you hear it in my voice, and you know the Mexican boys and everyone. It's that gruff, deep, manly voice that we have. I don't know if it comes with the passion or the culture or what, or we've got desert fucking dirt shoved down our throat or what. But it's just how we are.
we do make a real effort in Australia to, you know, as Australians, to incorporate cultures into
who we
us,
are.
you know.
Well, okay, when you look at the whole Southern Cross thing, the members of 52 nations came together and said, get fucked to the English. I mean, that's the basis of the story. We are a country of many nations, and we should be proud of that. It is that's what makes us unique too.
Oh yeah, and that's actually what makes our punk unique, and that's why we should be promoting it overseas.
Oh yeah,
because you know, you take bands like Enzyme, for example, and Bloody Hammer and all that, and they're really classic Melbourne punk, really gritty and nasty, really thumpy, and you know, you see all the Americans when they're at the festivals in America, and you see all the Americans in the mosh pits, and they're just moshing around to it and everything, you know. These bands, they've made an impact on American bands and everything else, and influence as well. We have made an influence with our punk music, especially with Cosmic Psychos.
Yes, we have.
We influenced Nirvana in Australia with Cosmic Psychos.
And this,
so basically, we invented the grunge scene.
You go back to Bobby Lloyd and Billy Thorpe and people like that. They influenced the world, and the world influenced them. That's how music worked. We influenced the world. The world influenced us. Everything worked together. I mean, it's like the big argument out where Skinhead Mod started, because what happened with Australia and England is everything started simultaneously. What started in England would start a week later in Australia, simply because they were connected via phones and mail and everything else. There was just that media and culture that switched over.
It was very convalescent. Yeah. Because you know, you had the Sharpies and the Skinheads.
And Bobby Lloyd ended up going over to England, and he basically, that's where you get the whole white shirt look as well, because that's the whole Sharpie influence as well, which not many people know about, because I don't know if the English have got a problem with us Aussies, but we sort of get left out of all that stuff. And after recent events, I started got a big question.
You know, like there is a bit going on there that we kind of question, because we have.
Mods have been recorded here technically before they were in England, so let's not go too far into that. Okay, so we're going to actually leave that one there. Okay. So right, let's move on.
All right, so I've got another band that I want to review, and especially with Sydney, because I thought this week, especially because Sydney's got some up and comings as well, and just show some of the Melbourne boys and
Yeah.
show some of the Sydney boys each other and all that kind of stuff. The Black Rats.
Oh,
Now-
love you guys. Nah, we got you on. We're gonna look. I'm just gonna get El Barro with El Todo Madre. Sorry, look, my Spanish is shit. Like all the people know me, I can do it all right on the keyboard because I use a translator and everything. But still, like the language is a bit harder. I would probably
Si,
better with
senor.
French. Si, senor.
Yeah.
I think my favourite phrase when I was in Mexico was dos tacos, please. Dos tacos, por favor. But 2 tacos, please. I just lived off tacos until I found a tamale person who actually spoke English. We had a good chat because I actually sell tamales on the side of the road. I mean, I can live well in Mexico. 20-cent tamales sold on the side of the road. Tacos like a couple, you have about a two or three bucks. Smoked $5. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the beer prices. I mean, okay, the weed's a bit poop. It is bad weed. Like, okay, I ended up getting Humboldt County weed into it when I was in Mexicali, and I gave it to a mate there, a guy I met, and I didn't realise Humboldt County was supposed to be so premium, and he was so thankful. I was like, just one bud.
Yeah.
And the whole 2 weeks I was there, every morning I used to turn up my hotel room with this big handful of weed. That was good bush weed. It was good, like, desert weed.
Bush chuff.
Yeah, bush chalk. It was good bush chalk. It was a big handful every morning, and just give me a handful every morning because he actually growed it. He had this beautiful fucking German Shepherd, and got to speak to his dog a lot because my dog passed away when I was over there. So there was a little connection for me and his dog. And
Yeah.
so Pedro, like, mate, if you're watching, all the luck to you, buddy.
But yeah, I'm just going to talk about Black Rats. I love you, Ben, and I love you, Claire. Like, you guys are honestly, some of the more top boys and girls in Sydney.
Right.
And,
That's right. We'll stop on this.
Otto Clow. you did some really good bass lines on this song, I've got to say.
Right, see? Told you I'd
Yeah.
set that right. I love the visuals on this. I do like the visuals on
And then
this.
when the voice hits in, this is what I like about Ben.
Yeah,
He knows how to
this is
summon
good.
aggression. I think we all know a few people who have chosen this path before. He puts it on spot on.
Yeah, well, I actually did like these guys up there. They're really nice. I do like Sydney's really nice. I don't get to this Sydney-Melbourne competition. I think you're both shit because I'm West Australian and we beat
Otto Clow, naughty boy, there. You guys should come down here.
Yeah.
No, it would be an experience. Come on, guys. You
Yeah.
know, like.
Because, I mean, look,
I'm just
you're
saying,
both
you
from
know.
Melbourne and Sydney. You're both shit. Right? So, look, you may as well come down here and
That
be all
comes
shit
from
together.
Western Australia.
Hey, mate, who makes all the fucking money?
Yeah, but Western Australia does
And they're all,
have
look, we're the real bloody deal, buddy.
Western Australia does have a good though. You've got Nigel Grundy, you've got.
Oh yeah, Nigel's great. I've still been wanting to hear through Sound Road there because it's so hard to get music around WA because everything's so far apart. Growing up inside the transport business, I didn't even know I grew up in the transport business. It's huge distance.
Yeah, definitely. You know.
Well, see, this is actually the whole program thing, right? Now, when we were young blokes and we wanted to go and see a show, we would sometimes have to drive for 2 days to go see, sometimes 5 across the country, to go and see bands. So we'd have to jump in planes, fly across the country. So that whole bogan culture was about us jumping in our cars, going and seeing shows, or going and putting on parties out in the bush and camping. That's where all that came from in WA. And then that bogan culture grew out from there.
Yeah.
And it was basically when Italian kids and Aussie kids came together because there's all the heavy Italian influence.
Hey, there's another band that's on after this on the autoplay.
Yeah, which is that?
Rust. And they did they did a bit of a tribute song to Black Rats, I think.
Yes,
It looks like.
well, I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll have to call Gary and find out. Yeah, Gary, we want to do an interview with you, and I want you and the boys to give him lots of shit, please. I want to have something to sit there.
They already give me shit.
I know, but
I know
want
about
to
your
join
little.
in on it.
I know about your little Rust photo escapades and also what you do.
Hey, dude, I know the stuff you do. This should go horribly wrong. Gary's on my friends list, mate. I might send him like a little pre-warning. I'm going to send him stuff. Lord Humongous. Like, always get that reference, yes? Like, next week, we're going to have a bit of fun with that one.
All the Dutch boys are giving me shit at the moment. Let's just say that.
Well, the boys at Haymaker and Discharger.
Oh my fucking god.
But he does, like, when he puts that mask on, he looks like Lord Humongous on YouTube from Mad Max 2. That dub they actually do.
But yeah, these guys, classic. You know, anyone who hasn't heard these guys, give them a fucking listen. My God, they've got some powerful tunes. You know, I enjoy going to their gigs, even though they have to play with a whole bunch of stupid metalheads sometimes. You know, but that's Sydney. You know, you can only have, you know, the options you have in Sydney because of how much
I
young.
don't stick to one genre. I think sticking to one genre of music is absolutely stupid. I mean, look, I listen to politicians.
In Sydney though, and you boys agree with me, right? In Sydney, because of what has happened with so much gentrification and also the annihilation of art and culture.
Oh yeah, it's starting to happen down here too. No,
You know, well, the East Coast in general, we're starting to lose our music scene and everything, and that's terrible.
Because
I
we
want to
have-
hear stuff like this all the time.
That's
You
right.
know, I want to be jumping around and doing
What
myself.
we have conservative and business leaders who don't understand the connection between arts and business. And look, with all those proper businessmen out there know exactly what I'm talking about. Arts and business are like that. But the Australian business, they don't understand that. Our government has no idea of this concept because our politicians aren't businessmen. They are privileged people from generations of politicians. They aren't businessmen. They should be getting business wages. Because if they cannot understand the relation to arts and business, then they should not be in business, and that's a fact.
I'm just going to say this for all you Sydney boys. You'll support me on this. Fuck Berejiklian! Fuck that fucking saggy bitch. I'm sorry, but yeah, like, she has destroyed so much of our fucking music and shit.
So much of our culture.
My uncle Michael Chug in Chug Entertainment, he agrees with me on this one. Fuck Berejiklian.
Yeah. And just killing the live music industry in Australia.
Yeah, and you know what we should do, guys, to actually tackle this issue? We should be starting up businesses and stuff and funding our own stuff from now on.
Which is what we're really pushing to
You know.
do, is fund things here in Australia. But look, if you know anything about business, music is a 50-50 game. So whatever you put in, you've only got a 50% chance of making it. So you only gamble, it's a gamble, so you only gamble with money you're willing to lose. So you have to have a business where you set aside a certain amount of profit. You can write off for tax reasons too, and put that towards music businesses and have it as a tax write-off. It's actually a great little arrangement. It means you can put more money into your community.
And this is the unfortunate thing about Sydney, because of all the property prices and all that type of stuff, we can't go out there and, you know, rent a shop in Sydney. It's like $2,000. So the better option, starting up your own business. Get onto NEAT's New Enterprise Incentive Scheme. They give you like $10,000. They'll pay for rent and fees and all types of stuff, all in it, and you only have to do a 6-month course, and then you can make like record labels and all that type of stuff and shirts.
All things
and
that help out your industry. So yeah, your
So it
shirt,
just,
records, as he was saying, boots. Hey mate, you could get these boots made in Australia by cobblers all over the place, or you can get them imported, actually ethically imported, like companies that pay their workers decent prices, and it's still not that expensive. I mean, but it is hard finding bootmakers in Australia, I will say that. It's a lot easier in Melbourne and Sydney, but volume is very hard for the old cobbler bootmakers we still have in this country.
That's why with Camel down here, we were trying to jump on the whole thing where, okay, you know, we're going to set up like a merch store and everything and get the best, you know, quality boots
Well,
and all
look,
that kind
there
of
is
stuff.
still an option for that. I still know a 2-bedroom shop like this in Footscray, where the uni students are. If you get on Facebook, you'll find it.
Oh.
The rent is nice. You two people can move into that. It's actually a better setup than this. It is almost ready to go.
And you live right near the
Shelving up, there you
Footscray
go.
Punts.
That's right, and you're right in the
Yeah.
middle of the Footscray Punts. And it is a little corner milk bar like this. Far better arrangement. I'm a little jealous of it, but I like Flemington. So, look, if any of you's out there in Footscray, get down and have a look at it. Bring up the person, have a chat to them. It's not going to be that hard to get your clothes racks in there, put up clothes, print your own stuff, get in as many second-hand boots. Hey, come see us. We'll make a couple of phone calls. Give us a go. We'll get a couple of grand. We'll get you in 100 boots or something like that, varying sizes, colours, and all the rest.
Oh,
You get
yeah.
enough boots, you can put your own brand on them.
And-
Hell, we might even put some Fighting Roo boots in there.
Yeah, definitely. Like there are a lot of good connections out there if you know where to look, and you can get anything customized to any need you want. And it's, you know, some of the stuff that I've seen thus far is amazing enough that I would actually go out there and invest in it.
Now, the rules when you always doing this type of business, you look local first. Always local. Like it's like talking of getting suits made. Well, it's actually quite cheap to get suits made here in Melbourne if you know where to look because of the rag trade, thanks to the Jewish culture here in Melbourne, which goes back to the 1920s. And the Italians out on the outer suburbs that do all the Italian suits and things like that. So if you know you can get things made, but you get locally first. When you can't, then you try to get components and assemble here. When you can't do that, then you get fully assembled there and then import here.
I'm going
It's
to
all
tell you
about
as well.
creating jobs.
I'm going to tell you as well. Some of the best tonic suit makers, like really nicely coloured, bright suits, are down here in Melbourne.
Yeah,
And
right
you
here.
can-
We want to
you
look
can buy,
into doing this.
You can buy some of the most dapper stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Also, some of the most
Yeah.
really old school gangster stuff.
Yeah,
I really
yeah,
love
and
that
it's at a
stuff.
good price
you know?
too, you know. Suits under $150, things like that. Just the jacket, the pants, and you know, if you know anything about Melbourne fashion, we'll walk around with just a t-shirt and a jacket, you know, and then the jeans. At the moment, it's jeans and jackets. Yeah, I do that a lot. Pretty much a guy keeps it hobby. Everyone started following after I came in doing that. It was just, I'm a country boy. I always wear jeans.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, I think it's time for another beer.
Okay, but yeah, we should get on to the Black Rats now because.
We just did the Black
Oh
Rats
yeah,
song,
yeah.
like,
Oh
now,
yeah.
run
Sorry.
through it.
Sorry about that.
He's a little rugby's boy.
Yeah, but you know, basically, the Black Rats are just a street punk / oi band from Sydney. I really love those guys. They're awesome. You know, and Otto, you do some really cool bass lines, even though I take the shit out of you sometimes, eh? We have a laugh though. We all have a laugh. Even Sean St. Leon and everyone up there, you know, who's in Owen Guns, I think it is. Which
She
is
shall
another
put on Lord Humongous. I can hear Sean laughing. But yeah, what else about the Black? How long have the Black Rats been around up there in Sydney?
I'm actually not too sure how long they've been around for, but I know they've been around for
Supposed to be your
years.
mates, aren't they?
They've been around for years, but
Is he watching? I hope he's watching. Like he's been putting
I'm
in the
going
blood.
to.
Oh, I hope he's
yeah.
watching. Oh, you better be watching, mate.
He would be. He's
Why
probably
don't you
hanging
ask
out
him?
with Johnny right now.
Hey, why don't you ask him? Like, how long have you been in the business, like playing as a Black Rat? You know, you should have done this before. Like, everyone wanted to play, but you should have asked him this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I asked Johnny about where he comes from over there in Columbia, isn't it?
Well, that's another thing which I'll have to learn for other times.
Yeah.
And all
The
that.
background to all those people. It's always good.
Yeah. I should have asked you guys a bit more into that. You know, if you're watching right now, please do comment on that kind of stuff and give us like a bit of a kind of background of how you actually met each other and everything. I'd really like to hear about that, and I would appreciate it. You know. But yeah, like. I know that the Black Rats have been around for at least 4 to 5 years.
Oh, okay.
4, 5, 6 years. You know, they're a very good band. You know, I love Razorblade. That song spoke to me a lot. You know, like I remember each time I go to a punk's picnic, and it's right there at the end of the night, and everyone's pissed drunk, and Razorblade would come on, and everyone's moshing their asses off. You know, it's just like pure, like the pure aggression that Ben conveys in the actual voice, and
I'll
what's
agree with
behind the guitars and the bass and the drums.
Well, there definitely is a lot of aggression, is it, and in the voice, and he's got a lot of power. It's that good angry music.
Yeah, that's how people get out a lot of their mental health
aggression.
problems
That's
and
right.
all that
That's
kind of
exactly
stuff. You know?
right.
And Ben, I know personally, and everyone knows you personally, we all know that you use music for that.
Yeah, well,
and
he's
you
not an angry
promote
person.
that.
He's, like, in saying that, his voice, the music being angry, doesn't mean he himself is angry. He's actually quite... Well, I've only seen him as a nice laid-back guy. You know?
He can be. We
all can be
you know.
arseholes. Look at me, you know. But
well,
doesn't mean
I'm
we're
not.
nice people.
I'm not out of the subject of that either. You know.
That's right. But no, he seems like a great guy. So by saying it's angry, I just mean it's in the music.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you yourself are an angry person, because, as you say, it is a great way to get your mental health issues out. That is one of the great things about this hardcore music. It is a great way to get that aggression, that anxiety, and that angst all out on the dance floor and with your mate. And you can be mentally unwell with these type of things.
Also, Ben, I hope you actually found a new house now and everything. I hope everything's well. You know, like, I hope your health is well, because you had a bit of a problem about 2 years ago. I'm not going to mention it.
But it is a bit hard getting a place in Sydney. It is really hard these days.
And he was trying to buy.
Oh,
you know.
jeez.
So that's just something,
good luck,
isn't it?
mate. Like, but if you can get a good buy, like, jump on it, because it's only going to go up. But look, the market's going to have.
I think if you're living around North Rocks or anything, and I'm up there, you know, because I think you said you were going to move around there. Just invite me over for a drink, mate. I'll miss you guys. I'll miss all of you. I'll miss.
Well, another reason to come down to Melbourne and play.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like we've got to collaborate a lot more stuff, guys. You know, we're all in this together. This is Australian punk, and you know, we don't really have any state borders on punk. You know,
that's right. And we all want to give you the virus.
It is
Well,
bad, isn't
it is. It is. We're all making lights.
It drives you to drink.
It does. It does. But see, that's the other thing we want to talk about tonight, is social entertainment post-virus world, and what we're going to have to start doing. There's a lot of software out there like Zoom and all that, and we did find House Party, which you can have mates all in rooms around the world drinking beer like this. You have a screen up like this, and you can play games and things like that. And it's like a digital bar, I guess.
Like I had a look earlier. House Party is kind of set up like Snapchat. Sorry, I'm eating.
Well, that's eat. You eat and drink. It's a healthy thing.
But yeah,
The Asian way.
exactly. And it's very healthy in general. But yeah, I found this. It's basically like Snapchat, but video calling and also group calling.
Yeah.
So you can do all kinds of games on it. There's like, you know, word races, heads up, trivia, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, just fun games you can have a drink to.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
And just be like, yeah, you know.
You can
Because
make
we-
a drinking game out of anything if you're a good drinker.
We don't have to feel like we're in prison when we're in isolation. We just need to. We've got technology these days which is actually going to get us through this outbreak. You know, when the 1918 flu came around, no one had
nothing
anything.
like this, and everyone was panicking. They had media that was weeks late and things like that. But
They had the same anti-mask leak type
that's
stuff,
right.
all of that type of stuff. So, you know, everyone hang in there, you know, especially the band stuff and everything. You know, it's really hard. I know people personally.
We are looking at this ways to make money for bands in the post-virus world. We are looking at more of a show, a subscribe show where we can pay bands and play music, and not just us doing it, but larger networks are doing it. so it's not so popularised and it's more DIY and down at local level.
And actually
but still
promoting it,
connected, yeah.
promoting it properly, so that
Yeah,
people
that's
can
right.
actually use it, and then other people can make money.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, we all do. We all
need to make a piece of the pie. This is reality. We need to make a bigger pie so we can all have a piece of it as well. We need a very big pie because we're all big fat bastards here. We need to eat lots.
Yeah, yeah.
We all want to have it. We don't want to have $1 million house. We do want to have a $200,000-$300,000 house and have kids and all those normal things.
Oh yeah, of course, especially skinheads.
Yeah.
What are we known for?
Working class.
We work and we have families, we have everything that we
that's
need,
right.
you know, like it's and also we basically live for the weekend. And that's basically it, you know, and
We work the week away so we can enjoy the weekend. That's what we do, and we enjoyed that, and that's our lot in life, and we should be respected and treated okay for it. We're not asking to be treated like kings, just human beings. And I think that's fair. As Australia, we're all fucking human.
but yeah, also guys, I was going to talk to you about some of the Melbourne punk bands because we've had some Sydney bands here.
Yeah.
And at the moment, we're putting on Moscow. This is Moscow.
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Brigade.
they feature a lot of me stuff because I do like Moscow Death Brigade. They're a great band. I listened to probably. So I got introduced to them about 6 years ago, would it be? And just fell in love with it.
Yeah, you
Great
like
band.
quite a lot of hip hop stuff.
Well, I like anything. Mate, look, I listen to El Divo. You play El Divo, Mama, I'll cry. That's what my mother. I listen to Botticelli even. I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
But yeah, we've got another band which I'm going to talk about right now, and that's Wild Spears.
Yeah,
And-
Wild Spears. There you go, Indy.
Yeah. Andy, I have known the guy for probably 11 years. I've known this guy for. He's a grouse fella. He is a very prominent anti-fascist.
Yep.
He speaks about anti-fascism. And also,
And you'll never find him on Facebook. Thanks, fuck.
he hates it. He
Oh, yeah,
hates
I
it.
do not
Let's
blame
not
him.
get into that
I
because
do
we
not
all
blame him.
we all talk about it. Yeah,
But
I think everyone
this
knows
is
what we're
one
talking
thing
about.
he is known for. That's why I was saying it. You will not find him on Facebook. 'cause
Yeah,
he
and he
doesn't
refuses.
He doesn't be.
He refuses to use it. Apparently, he did use it once, and he got really angry and he deleted it.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
just like-
blame him because that's what the trolls work on is rowing you up and building up, and they do that.
Yeah.
So if you know that's going to affect you, if you like, if I'd known this years ago,
Yeah.
I'd probably done that.
But yeah,
You should stop. I totally agree with it, mate. I think he saw the problem. He foresaw an issue and thought, nah, fuck it, this ain't good for my mental health.
yeah,
He
exactly.
was a smart man for doing that, quite honestly.
But yeah, a bit of background into the Black Rats. There's Lord Chief who's on guitars,
yeah,
and Andy does vocals. Andy was in a previous project as well with actually a South American guy as well, a Latin dude called Camilo Colbota. I don't know.
You'll have to show me the spelling and I'll get it right for you.
But yeah,
Take it, guys.
But yeah, like he has a very prominent history in making music about just activist music and talking about big topics. Like he'll do his research. He does a lot of research into the topics he talks about because he's very passionate about this sort of stuff. It's also just really fun to watch his music, because he's a proper punk.
Yeah.
You've seen him. He's got all the scars all over his face.
It's all part and parcel of the game,
And he genuinely looks completely punk.
Yeah.
Down to everything. He's like his facial structure, everything. He's a complete punk. And that's the thing about Wild Spears. They talk about equal rights and all that type of stuff, and
I think if you look online, you'll actually find you can only lose it. You will always lose in Melbourne a song towards the Bash on YouTube.
I think that was
You will.
yeah.
You will.
That was actually
Some of the Wild
started.
Spears, but
That
that
was
was
actually
I'm saying
started
you'll
on
find the
Wild
Wild Spears singing that
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, Yeah, and
I should have lined it up. I'm sorry, Indy. He did not remind me, and it wasn't in the lineup.
but yeah, like check them out. Definitely, you know, all you Sydney guys, come down here for a gig. You know, we got bands like Kmart Warriors, and
Yeah,
we got
and
bands
we will
like,
do it.
you know.
I'll do an interview with Handy as well. I actually been lining up that as well. So
When you get okay, one thing about you,
no,
Handy-
Handy. Ours is going to be a beer to beer interview. We're going to have a beer interview.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because when you get that bastard drunk, he's funny. He is funny as fuck.
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be like a 2-hour drunken bath.
And you know we'll be asking questions about the West Side Punks.
Hey, who said you're in on the fucking interviews, mate? This is for us men.
I'm a pretty lady.
Actually, we've got our mate Germ in America. He had a heart attack, so it's not right away, unfortunately. We're going to have a drinking competition one week with him. He's a big Midwest boy. He loves his moonshine. So I've challenged him to a drinking competition, which should go down interesting. Those who know how much I can drink, because he assumes he can drink more than me.
Yeah, and we've been having a little.
So, Germ, if you're watching out there,
tussle
boy,
with how much we shit stir each other for about like a year or two now. It's like a constant thing, and everyone reads our actual mess, like our friends, and they go,
oh yeah.
"Oh, these cunts."
And like his family are a little bit conservative too, so some of the stuff we tag him in and give him shit for, I don't think he appreciates. Like I have no control over what he does, but I sure as shit go in there and have a laugh after he does it. Oh, I do. It's like funny. You make Germ's life boy. No wonder he's had a heart attack. You know, I reckon too. Like if we have this drinking competition, me and Germ are going to suffer simultaneous heart attacks and have to be revived on camera.
You know, I made a promise to myself years ago. I'm going to annoy every living being in this universe: virus, bacteria, plants.
Yeah, you see,
everything.
You're going to live
You know?
for like 1,000,000 years. You're going to be one of these robots who goes back in time just to piss off everyone. I can actually
And I'll
see
change
him
something.
doing
I'll
it.
change things really funny in world history too. I'll be
He is
erasing.
Lord Humongous. I mean,
Oh,
he's going to be Lord Humongous for all eternity. He's going to be this Lord Humongous robot who comes back in time. Everyone's laughing at this.
Lord among us.
He's going to be a Lord Humongous who comes
That's
back.
gonna stick.
And he's
yeah.
going to stick for the rest of your life. Get the mask out, child. But he's going to come back in time. It's going to annoy you and then probably fuck you up the arse. Now, anyone who's watched a Lord Among Us gets that joke.
Oh my god, the dub ones with
Yes.
the dub voice.
That's Lord Among Us.
Put it on.
That's Lord Among Us.
Put it on.
We're going to call up Lord Among Us.
Put it on.
Now, yeah, because get your mask out, James.
I don't. It's in the wash.
Oh, yeah, with your panties.
Oh, fuck you.
Yeah, Seafoods, mate. He gets it good up here, mate. He gets no break up here. Going to use a holiday, buddy. All right. Which one should we go to? Greetings or?
Where's the one?
No,
with
I'm
the
going to
voiceover?
HD. Pardon?
Where's the one with
They're
the
all
voiceover?
voiceover. His name's not Lord Among Us. Yeah, you will know my vengeance. And this is, look, guys, we're going to have to pay this price because this is what he's going to do to us. And if you've seen his mask and jacket, you get the joke. Because I
also
could
look
see
like Bane
you.
from Batman.
Yeah, well, I could see you with the whole BDSM thing, with a motorbike and a guy on the back.
You have done
Girl on the front.
things by me.
This is actually an Aussie art form in movie.
Mad Max classics. These are some of the things we're going to be talking about
Oh,
later
yeah.
as well. But You know, I can take it though. I can.
Yeah, God, you better because you can give it, obviously.
You
You
know.
boy can Lord Humongous give it. That's why they call him Lord Humongous. So he better be able to take it. See, he takes it good. He just took it then and he grinned and there. See, he's a taker.
Well,
He's a
my
taker.
girlfriend definitely knows that I'm humongous.
It's like the name Bluey. You do not get the name Bluey because you have blue hair. You get the name Bluey because you have red hair. So if she called you Lord Humongous, guess what? You bet.
Let's
I
suppose
told
that you're
you,
writing a
Ferns.
really important email to a colleague.
Oh, it's really
I told you, Ferns, like he gets it good in the ass here,
Or a
mate.
post on Facebook.
He gets it good in the ass.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, it's not blue, is it? Hey, it's not blue.
But yeah, talking about some of the stuff before as well, you know, like especially with Melbourne bands like Wild Spears, Kmart Warriors, and all that. They're grouse guys, and you know the experiences I've had down here have been massively fun. Like, you know, you'll go to a gig here and the personalities you'll meet and everything, and that's why I want to have some of the Sydney boys come down here and check it out. You know, you guys are important to Australian punk, and you know, like we're important to Australian punk, and all other punk bands are important to Australian punk, and we should unify.
Well, everything
properly.
is important to Australian punk. Every part of it. No one part is left out. That is why we're a tribe.
Oh,
No one is at the top. No one is at the bottom. We are a tribe. We all have different jobs within that tribe to play.
Thank you, Jono. Apparently there is actually, because later on we're actually talking about punk movies.
Yeah.
He recommends a movie called Rodrigo di No Futuro.
Okay, look, we'll put that up as well because we are going to talk about punk music, punk movies, and we did want to get a good Latin punk movie that sort of epitomises
Yeah.
everything's about.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
Gonna put that one up
Like-
as well, and we're going to get the name right. We're going to take a minute to understand how to like pronounce Spanish words, maybe.
Yeah, because there's a lot of different, like...
Because look, it is nothing to do with Australia. Like Victorians are terrible for this. Look, in WA we have a lot of French named places because of a French pirate who did the whole East Coast. So we know how to say French words like Levique. Like you should be able to say Levique. But when these guys see Levique written, they say Levac.
Mm.
Yeah, so they sound like French Canadians, where in the West we do more the French and Spanish properly. You know, it doesn't sound like someone operating a bloody chainsaw. Which is what you Victorians sound like when you speak anything that's not Anglo.
Yeah, there is a bit of there is a heavy American type
It's not
thing here.
American, it is Victorian. Victorians have a English that's based on its history, so you speak a very Anglo. So
Yeah.
you won't say those French and Spanish ones, where WA you had a lot of French names and Spanish names for pirates and things like that, and explorers, so it's a little bit different. And there is a little bit of that culture there, because we had a lot of Spanish horse and cattle people come over through the 1800s to early 1900s through the north of Australia. So a lot of that cattle, see, Johnny, I don't know if you know this, a lot of that cattle industry in North Australia has a lot of Latin American influences that do go back to the 1800s.
Yeah.
The Camp Pot on the left-hand side, it is actually a real thing with us up here and indigenous cattlemen. Camp Pot, left-hand side. I'll let the Latin boys explain that to you Aussie boys. You Aussie boys can go and ask them about that if they come from that type of a background, cowboy background.
We should put on Wild Spears.
Okay.
Just put.
I
Wild
do
Spears
know.
punk.
I know the one it is.
Yeah.
I know how to look it up. I know better than you do. See, I'm more modern than you are, young man.
Actually, yeah, there you go. That's the first suggestion.
Always. Yeah. Melbourne. Yeah, because I look for it.
So
I should clear that underneath. Might get my porn settings. That could be scary.
Oh my god, I don't want to know it. I don't
Yours are more scary than me. No, I think we're going to put wild spears in this.
Yeah.
Because I know it's up there. I think I'll even put one of their songs up.
Hmm.
I think. I'm not sure.
Mm.
No, it's here. Here it is.
Oh, there we go.
you
There
go.
it is. There it is.
There you go. Here it is. Now this is Wild Spears.
And this is actually recorded from your phone.
Yeah, it is too.
Yeah, which is
Ah, it is mine!
Yeah.
There you go. That is why you were on YouTube, Indy. You owe me a beer, mate. I knew I had it up there.
Yeah. This is Melbourne Punk, boys. Can you handle it, Cindy?
I was
Jump
drunk.
down
I was drunk.
Jump
on
down
it.
here. Let's see if you can handle it and play like us, eh? That's the healthy type of competition.
I'll actually, Indy, I'll put this on Reverb Nation for you, mate. Is it okay? I'll put it on Reverb.
You gotta love that. The drums with
I know where
guitars
to
going
pick the
through.
spot, don't I?
Yeah, but the drums with the guitar going through,
Yeah.
how fast it is,
Yeah.
and how it gets that energy up in you.
Can you pick all the points? That was the best point on the stage. I went up and down that stage. I picked the best point to do this.
Yeah, it's right near the edge.
Not just the edge, right distance from the other one too, mate. There was a bit of a equal balance to right.
Gotta say, well, respect you, Indy, and the Linker. You're both awesome, both rounds.
Hey, you can hear me in the background there. I told you before I had to put this up.
Yeah,
I was drunk when I did too. It was up to figure it out.
we'll put
Hey,
the
look,
link.
hey, guys, get on and give a fucking like, please.
Yeah, we'll put the link in this.
Yeah, we will. I will put a link up for it, eh? Don't jump on you, alright? But yeah, I totally forgot. I put that up because yeah, when we came down and we seen them live, we went out drinking that night. I put it up. Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, this is other movies are on. Yeah. Right, because we're going to talk about movies tonight. That's actually Dead End Drive, those who know about Australian movies.
Yeah,
It is a classic. We're going to cover that tonight.
There's a ton of like Australian punk movies as well as some of the, there's a Latin movie which I was just aware of now. Also the Suburbia.
I really need to get some presets for all this, but as the show rolls on, we'll have all that sorted. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, give us a look at the name of this band.
What the? Which
Well,
one?
been a while. Give me the Latin. Let's see if I can speak that now.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a movie.
Okay. Rodrigo de Futuro. No Futura. Okay, I thought it'd be Nova Futura, but no, it must be something else. Okay. Because Nova's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like any Mexican knows the story of the Chevy Nova from America, and this is a classic marketing story. Why you don't just use English names in other culture. They sold the Chevy Nova in Mexico. Well, Nova means no go. So yeah, they would. And there was another classic one too that had to do with the beer, and the translation came out to basically impede us. And this big country Texan guy walks into a bar and asks for a big glass of Penis. I don't know if it was that Mexican or Asian though, it was Japanese one. When I studied marketing at university, we actually talked about this stuff and
Yeah.
why you don't do that.
Yeah. You know, like, these are the types of things that you guys should be doing as well, especially on quarantine and lockdown and everything, is having beers with your roommates and whatever, and having like a conference call.
Yeah.
Of course, practice social distancing always.
Well,
you
that's
know,
right.
Even out in public and everything.
Yeah.
But you know, this is the type of stuff we're doing to have fun and also get everything out there. You know.
And
Give
look, we
people
are going to start
experiences.
doing more, having other people up on the show with us drinking. We actually do want to do that, but we're going to get the popularity up.
And this stuff is awesome, man. You know, like, if I was someone else, I'd be watching me right now because, you know, I'd be having a drink and everything.
Yeah,
and
well,
just,
that's right.
Because you're talking and you're just having some drunk fun.
Yeah, that's
you know?
right. It's about being laid back and having fun and listening to people bullshit, which we do really well, because that's all we do is bullshit.
Yeah, we talk a lot of shit.
Yeah.
that's
And look,
that's
everyone's having a good laugh
you
at
know.
that. But I'd love to get you some of yous up. We'll have a beer, we'll have a chat, give each other shit. We should hook up with the Melbourne and Sydney guys, Brisbane, Darwin, Perth,
You know,
LA, wherever.
That's what would be really awesome. You know, like Russ comes down here, they play at Punk's Pub Crawl.
Well,
you
look,
know.
half the time, if we do it right, they might not even need to come down here because we're going to have these social rooms the way we're doing them. It's just finding a way that they get paid. That really is the important part in all this, is finding a way that bands and people in the entertainment business can make money again and people can be entertained. Because it's great we're doing this, but the reality is the entertainment business needs to make money. We can't do it for charity, even though that's what Morrison thinks we do. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we shouldn't have our arts departments defunded. I mean,
Well, you know, politicians should lose half their wages before we lose our arts, I tell you.
or lose what about our infrastructure of our internet? That's
Oh
fucking
my God,
bullshit.
how horrible is that? And we had trouble first up. We lost a great intro.
Yeah, we had a really good
it was
intro.
a
before.
great intro
Yeah.
for the one person who saw it.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
it killed it. It was half that's exit talent, half
And
of that's a bad line.
Yeah, but yeah, that's that's just how it goes. But yeah, like guys, we're gonna talk about some movies tonight, and
Yeah.
you
Now
know,
let's start with the Latin movie, obviously, because it's Latin week. We're focusing on digital Latin music and all the rest. So let's focus.
yeah,
on
let's
this movie
let's have a
tonight,
look.
right?
Let's have a look if there's like a because it's an
Oh, of
80s
course.
film. It must be a classic, so there might be a trailer for it. you know?
Oh, there will be. There definitely will be. Trailer. Now, what's it called again?
Rodrigo.
Yep.
He.
You know, if you
No.
should.
Yeah. Yep. He came up. There you go. Huh. So it's like a. It is a subculture movie.
Oh yeah, I don't see anything for it.
Yeah.
But well, look. Why don't you call up the thing on it and have a look?
Call up what?
IMB.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, like
Look, it is on YouTube, guys. So any Latin guys here in Australia, if you do want to check it out.
yeah.
Well, let's just pick a piece from the movie. See, I know nothing about this movie. Now I do. I'm going to endeavour to watch it. I'm going to try and find it in English or spend about 3 hours trying to watch it in Spanish.
Yeah. Okay.
It takes about
So
3 hours to
basic,
get out
the
of it,
basic thing on this is Rodrigo and his friends are bored teenagers living in Medellin. Rodrigo wants to start a punk band. The youths mainly loaf around the hillside shanty towns for kicks, steal a bike or a car, or shoot someone. So it's basically one of those.
Yeah, it's a typical Latin gang punk movie. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of like suburbia. You guys, you guys.
Yeah, well,
saw what
okay, look,
suburbia?
and like, trying to explain LA to Australians, okay, because we've been through there. It is just not one big endless city, so what they call suburbia is going to be a different bus. Because it is just like endless, mate. It is just endless expanse of city and people and suburbs and all the rest.
Suburbia gets into some really really good issues though. And this looks like one of those very
Yeah, it
extreme and gritty kind of punk movies. This
It
is
actually
very
looks really well made.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really-
this is great.
It does look really, really well made.
Mm.
The music's good. Production value here is
Music's
really
amazing.
good. Yeah, production value is really good.
Oh, and it's
Oh!
nice South American.
I know,
type
yeah, I've
cinema.
heard these guys before.
Yeah. Wow. That was a good choice, Jono. I mean,
Oh, Jono, I mean, you're impressing me, mate. Keep it
Yeah.
up. Oh, awesome. So obviously they got one out there with the subtitle. So look, all your Aussies, jump on there and check it out, Latin brothers and sisters, mate, The Pacific is not that big for Polynesians, mate. We were trading with Latin America or people, the Native Americans for a very long time, and we connected Australia and America. So, look, there's always been a bridge between. If you know anything about the Southern Polynesian Empire, which my family come from, which is Easter Island,
Yeah.
and then it goes up to Rotumba. We're renowned for being the lightest, or what they call the most olive, because originally we actually come from Latin America, the Patagonian people, and that's why we tend to be so tall. That's why the last name Phoenix and all that. But yeah, so there is that Latin American connection or Native American connection that goes right through the Pacific up to Fiji,
Yeah.
and that's part of that trade route, and that's what my family used to do, and that's why we look as unique as we do.
And guys, I do suggest, as someone who didn't really know anything about Indigenous knowledge or Indigenous types of,
history.
tribal
Look, it's history. Look,
Yeah.
you got to remember the indigenous culture existed in the region as advanced as is Europe today. The only way I can explain so you can understand the difference between the two is watch America before Columbus, and you see the pre-indigenous culture in all its good and in all its bad, and you see pre-American European culture in its good and bad, and post, and it really. It's a good little view of how that is, but you got to remember our own culture, our own system, all of that existed in the region long before Europeans came through, and we had a lot of trade, a lot of movement. It was not isolated like people think. There's actual trade networks that go across the region.
I like the cinematography in this film.
Yeah,
Like, I can tell that what is actually done into the conveyance and motion
Yeah.
through the visuals.
Latin
you know-
cinema, mate. Latin cinema is really good. I love Latin cinema.
And I haven't really been exposed that much to Latin cinema, and this is actually very good.
It is. I love it. It is, as you say, gritty. For me, growing up in the Kimberley,
I love those
it's
types
that
of films.
dirt poor, no infrastructure. I come from the desert. I
This-
have nothing. All I have is my music, my passion, and my cock.
This reminds me of a really good movie called Deadbeat by Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
Deadbeat
yeah.
by Dawn. Oh my god, gang classic. Also, they do have a very hardcore kind of element to it.
Yeah, yeah.
Punk, like the Warriors, like Clockwork Orange and all that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's really incorporated into it. So Deadbeat by Dawn. If you guys are actually having a drink tonight and you're watching the stream right now, watch Deadbeat by Dawn. You guys won't regret it. It is a good film. Like I give it a like 2 thumbs up basically on that, and for something to impress
I
me.
missed a good bit here because I know the bit that scene they were just showed up there. He stands on top of the building of the slum and he's playing. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And it's a visual of how all of those buildings is amazing. I think I've seen bits of this movie over the
Bit
years.
of the old UK 82 vocals
Yeah,
going
yeah.
out there and noisy punk, Reminds me of like the Swankies
Yeah.
and the Wankies and all those bands. And also, what's that band's name? Oh, goodness, my friends are going to kill me for this. Because, it reminds me of a lot of noise punk bands and stuff. And, if you have a movie that actually does this,
I'm going to have to check this movie out because I like the music in it. It is actually quality punk music. It's really well made punk music.
and it's the rawest form of it.
Yeah.
And with the cinematography, and
Yeah,
everything
that's
else
what I'm saying.
behind it. It's like,
The production value in this is amazing because they've got that raw, gritty sound, but it's made well. Yeah, the sound, the production value of this is actually really good. And it really captured that whole punk feel. I'm going to have to look into who made this. I'm guaranteed all my mates are going to be sending me messages now. They will be.
but yeah, like we may as well after this as well show the guys like a trailer for Deadbeat by Dawn,
Yep.
because like you know you get a good sense of something when you actually see the moving picture for you know, and you see what I'm actually talking about.
Oh yeah,
you know.
Know exactly what you mean. We are going to run through a few punk movie classics tonight. We're not going to show them all. I'll show them end to end, obviously.
Yeah.
But you should check them out. Like we are going to go to Dead End Drive, SLC Punk. Like Dead End Drive's always been my favourite.
Yeah, Dead End Drive-In is it actually has a lot of racial issue kind of stuff in it.
It
that
really
addresses,
talks about
doesn't it?
issues Australia had in the 80s to do with immigrants and how we were turning against each other and made to turn against each other.
And I think there was a mention of the White Australia policy. And
Yes,
all that in that
there
film as well.
is. There actually is.
And-
And it goes into our subcultures and things. Right, even Teddy Boys. Teddy Boys up here in Dead End Drive. If you watch it.
Yeah. And Dead End Drive-In it is. Yeah, it's one of those films where you can sit down with your mates, have a beer, not pay attention too much to it, but when a bit comes on that you need to
Yeah,
pay
you
attention
understand the
to,
relevance.
you get your head turns and you go right onto it.
It is a
you know?
political art piece. It's a masterful Australian political punk piece that really gives you a vision of what a terrifying future could be that we're actually walking into. This is the scary part. The future they are talking about in this, we're almost heading into, with the exception of the concentration drive-in. I don't want to ruin it too much, but yeah, except with the exception of that. But that future they're talking about, we're heading towards that. That is a real part in all that.
Yeah, and the element behind that movie of like that guy and that girl in the movie, they're trying to escape, and they're always trying to escape the actual, you know, drive-in, and they can't. You know, it's just.
You're always you're stuck in a rut. What we used to call in country towns, stuck in a rut. So you would be sitting there, and you'd be stuck in a rut. You'd be able to get out of these small towns. That's like small towns I come from. That happens to a lot of us. We get stuck in a rut. There's no jobs. There's no future because there's no jobs. There's no training because there's no training. You just get stuck into this cycle of using drugs and never growing out of your small country town, and it's horrible to watch.
A lot of those issues are actually, you know, they're brought up and they're kind of like put in your face as well. So that type of confronting type of thing, and that's what I mean, because you'll be sitting there talking shit with your mates, having a beer, and then a scene will come on and it captivates you and your friends, and you're like, oh, okay, and then you talk about that. And that's what cinema, good cinema, is supposed to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're having a drink and...
Now, what was
Yeah.
the other movie you were going to check out?
Okay, so, yeah, Deadbeat by Dawn.
Oh no. Trailer?
Yep. Deadbeat at Dawn. Sorry, guys.
I'm just going to prep up some tobacco. James, can you pass me the roll tobacco?
Yeah, sure, man.
So I don't think about having a pipe is you prep up the tobacco because rolling tobacco's great, but it still has to be prep.
I hope this is some trailer.
Yeah, it's
But yeah, there's a lot of elements in this, and the cinematography is done in a very raspy way. It's, you know.
oh yeah, I like this.
The fighting room.
Oh, well, that's not funny. That's just boys having fun. There's fighting, there's boys having fun, mate. There's a big difference between the two. And not everything's about a fight. And I know everything's all about fighting and buzzing. I don't have as many fights.
Whatever
It's just
happened?
when I do, they're rare, they're big, that's all.
Whatever happened to having a bit of a play fight with friends?
Yeah, well, sparring.
Getting
you
a bit of
spar
a
all
blood
the time.
nose, getting,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
don't knock
look,
each
yeah,
other's teeth
okay,
out.
okay, yeah,
Don't
exactly.
knock
I was
each
just
other's
about to
fucking
say-
teeth
I was
out.
just about to say
Yeah.
that with the blood nose and that, because you do have to remember that can go horribly wrong. Those who know about fighting know exactly what it means. And you could kill a person, so yeah, you do be a bit careful there. But sparring, Christ, I grew up with that all the time. That's what we do. Sparring's good.
I like this trailer though because it addresses everything that's actually in the film. So there's a lot of like drinking and kind of this esky kind of violence.
But this is the 1980s Australian movies, those punk car movies you got. There's not just this, there's Midnight Spares, there's a whole heap of this type of genre movie in Australia.
But yeah, this was
Where was this one?
1988.
Yeah, but where?
Oh, it's actually in America.
Yeah, but where?
I don't.
It's set.
I'll
Who
just look it
set
up.
this one in?
I'll just look it up. It's fine.
Looks like New York, doesn't it? Or Bronx or something like that.
Yeah, it
it
does.
is.
It
Yeah,
does.
it is.
It has that gritty kind
Well,
of.
you can tell by the buildings in the background, I think, but look, I haven't been there, but I've just gone to the cinema.
We might be surprised in a second, eh?
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
sort of got the the big old buildings of the Bronx and that. But yeah, it could be anywhere really, couldn't it?
Okay, so basically, just trying to see where it's actually based. It doesn't really say.
Oh god, that was a bit quick.
But yeah, this is basically the description. One last job separates the leader of the Ravens gang from an early retirement. When he finds his girlfriend beaten to death by members of a rival gang, he seeks revenge.
Oh, so it's
Knowing
like
that he may
Death Wish.
Yeah, maybe.
We're back at Bronson movies again.
Knowing that he may be dead by dawn. Will more blood
Those
bring
who
him
heard
back?
the interview get the Bronson reference. But yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this is very much like a classic kind of street fighting film. You know that?
Yeah.
You know, it's like and street fighting, actual kind of street fighting. You know,
That's
fighting
actually-
till the death, basically.
You know the martial arts I learned in growing up in Broome is what they call street fighting or husky fighting. And the actual idea is we pin your hands with our knees so that you are just open and we punch this shit out of your face, because in the end of the day there is no honour in a street fight. It is about the man who walks away.
Yeah.
And so that was a martial art I learned, so we learned how to counter all the other types of martial arts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've made mistakes before where I've had friends who are street fighters, and I'm like, you know, trying to have a bit of a spar with them, and it goes a bit horribly wrong.
Yeah, but you got all your martial arts ones, I shouldn't say too much, but all your martial arts ones, they're all learned. They all learn behaviours, learn moves, and they have to react to those. And that certain types, certain styles, they do certain things.
Yeah. Just cancel that. So.
Right, so that wasn't
Yeah,
too bad.
it's
That
not too
wasn't
bad at all. It's very gritty. I definitely suggest that if you guys are just up drinking right now. My goodness.
Well, you should be up drinking right now, like Saturday night. If you're sitting there acting all sad because we're all locked in, oh, screw you, mate. We're going to do something.
Come on, yeah, exactly.
Have some
This
fun.
is what this is about. You know, like we do this, we're having fun. We want you guys to have fun too. That's just basically it.
Yeah, well, that's it.
You know, and you know,
We've got some Judas Priest on.
but yeah, well, there are other movies as well, and you know, there are Australian classic movies that have that kind of gritty kind of punk.
Well,
feel,
okay,
you know?
well, actually, why don't we go straight on to Dead End Drive?
Mm.
Now, Dead End Drive has always been a classic one to mine. Those who know Peter Whitford from Kingswood Country, this is a whole movie you can find on there. We're not going to obviously go through the whole movie, but we're going to skip through some key points to sort of see the cinematography, the clothing, and all the rest. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys will, from Melbourne and Sydney, are going to start recognising a lot of places.
But yeah, the basic description of
Melbourne,
this,
sorry.
of Dead End Drive-In, is in the future a health nut and his tagged-along girlfriend become trapped in a drive-in theatre that has become a concentration camp for outcast youths, who are placated with new wave music, junk food, drugs, exploitation movies, and racism. So it addresses like certain social issues
Oh,
as
it
well,
does
you know.
huge
Freaking-
social
oh my
issues
gosh.
in this. Like it talks about. Okay, well, we're going to start. Okay, now in the first, you saw the post-apocalyptic world where the economy has basically collapsed and there's nothing. No.
And
jobs,
there are
no
certain
nothing.
entities trying to gain control over everything.
Yeah,
And that's
right.
why there is such a kind of a shut in with this drive.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be a way to keep the youth going, keep the youth contained.
Yeah.
They try to keep youth contained rather than let youth be youth while the old men of the world take everything and rape it all over.
Hey, what is that film
Yeah.
with the car that has like the radioactive stuff?
I've been to the, I'm sorry, I've been to that servo. I kid you not, I have been to that servo. Sorry, what?
Like that film with the debt collector. He gets that radioactive car or whatever, and he's doing the debt collection, and he's a punk.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. You've actually really surprised me.
Yeah, guys, if you know that film,
Oh, you're gonna love
Can
these
you-
cars.
can you comment below? Because I know one of you guys is going, oh, blah, because it is a very classic film.
I probably know the name, but you're probably giving a shit description.
Yeah, not
Well, that would be you. Shit description.
not really. It's
Because you just shit.
I'll spit beer in your face.
It just wasn't my Guinness glass, son. It just wasn't my Guinness glass.
I'll drink from his Guinness glass. If you guys
Never
pay
again,
me,
no, he's not.
if
No,
you guys,
never
if
again.
you
Never
guys pay
again.
me $10 tonight, I'll drink from his Guinness glass, and then I'll put it down.
Are you
my
going
pants.
to pay for his hospitalisation? Because I will glass him. It is my Guinness glass. It's like playing with a leprechaun's balls. Don't play with a leprechaun's balls. We'll fucking punch you in yours. But anyway, yeah, it's a great movie. It goes into the whole
Doesn't he look like a leprechaun?
I do. My Irish mates get me to do the whole little leprechaun braces, and I've got little leprechaun tie up there, and I do the whole Billy dee fucking potatoes. Billy dee fucking potatoes. I'm gonna cave your fucking head in. Yeah, so all my Irish mates having a good chuckle at that one. But yeah, Dead End Drive, like, look, great movie. Now, you know anything about Australian car culture to do with well, there, that is actually right there was where I wanted. You've got the tow truck industry. It was a cutthroat industry. They used to, no joke, they would almost fight like this over cars to tow them away back in the 89. When I used to live with Gary, my old
Really?
mentor, yeah, he used to do this shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he said it's actually like this. You'd have two trucks, tow trucks, racing down the street, one trying to push the other one off the road.
And
Yeah,
then
to
they're
get
competing-
to the wreck, because there's
they're
money
competing
in the
for it.
wrecks, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this actually really explores the extreme part of that, and that's in this. This is what they're doing. They're fighting over the wrecks of the car. They're fighting over scraps at the table.
Yeah, but basically what happens a lot with our social system today.
Yeah. It should tell you that nothing has changed in 30, 40 years. It has been the same over and over and over. Left versus right, one side against another, as we all fight for dirty scraps over the table. That's how they rule, mate. While we're fighting for the scraps over the table,
There you go.
they are sitting up there drinking Chardonnay and fucking laughing at us at the bottom.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich. Now, there is another
There we
classic
go.
one.
There we go.
Now,
That's
anyone who
another
knows I love me Motorhead know why I love Eat the Rich.
film. Who's Lemmy?
Things are about to turn clockwork orange here, people. Another
Seriously,
movie
who's Levy?
reference I think we should be making.
Who's Levy?
Like, seriously, dude, you do not have a codpiece. I would not be going down this line of joke. Because, as you should know, yeah, about that. Yeah, I reckon. Let's see. Oh, that would have been a nutbreaker. That would have been a nutbreaker.
Oi, I need them to fuck me girlfriend.
Yeah. So I would not.
There's laughing.
I would not be
People are
mentioning.
laughing.
I would not be
People are
mentioning
laughing.
Levy. I would not be mentioning Levy. He's nuts. I can get them. I can get him. Should I get him? Should I get him? Should I get him?
Oh no. No.
No, we were joking about that today. Learn how to
Anyway,
play, so
I'll
no.
give you guys my PayPal. Pay me $10 and I'll drink out of that Guinness glass.
Right, pay me 20 and I'll get him square on the nuts. Square on the nuts.
If you pay me 50, I'll wipe my bum hole all over his Guinness glass.
Pay me 60, I'll make him eat the glass. I will. I'll make him eat the glass.
Look at the little lights.
You got to look. He said he's red as a beetroot. I actually don't get this about you white people. You call us coloured. Look at him. He's turning red. He looks like a beetroot now. He's not a white person. He's a beetroot.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was
Okay.
what was the other movie we were mentioning? Oh, look, I love this stuff.
Oh,
He's delivering a
okay.
pizza and he's getting attacked by guys.
Oh, I nearly
I used to
cried.
deliver pizzas. I mean, this is almost a reality.
But yeah, we're talking about. Okay, so basically, quadrophenia.
Quadrophenia. Yeah, I did say, like, oh, come on, cliche as fuck, please.
Yeah.
But, I mean, look, it does have a strong relevance to skinhead culture
And mod culture,
and
and the
all that.
kind of the punk culture that was revived in the mod revival
Yeah,
with,
yeah,
like,
that's right.
bands like the Jam and all that type of stuff. But there's also another thing that we should talk about as well, because everyone's seen Quadrophenia.
Yes.
Everyone has.
Yes.
What the hell happened with that Clash movie?
Oh,
About
I
Joe
hate
Strummer.
I hate that movie.
Oh my god. Blah, 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 blah.
I
You
get
just sit
through
and he's
about
just
15
whining.
minutes of it, and my brain is like coming out my nostril.
Yeah, it was just whining. Whiny all the fucking time, just saying stuff about his life and all this kind of crap. Nothing actually about the band or the
It's
situations
almost
he's
like
in.
me without the deep voice.
Yeah, everyone's going to agree to that. $50,
Well, you're
guys.
self-critical.
$50, guys, and I'll wipe my bum hole with his kids.
$100 and I take both testicles out in one swing. It'll be so fast you'll have to get it in slow motion.
Fuck off, bitch. Jesus Christ.
He knows it too. He knows how lick this old bastard is too, but I'm not a slow old man.
Oh, yeah.
Not at all.
Actually, $50 and I'll prank him. And I'll prank him back.
$70 I'll send him flying across the room. I will roo kick him across the room. I'll show you how it's all.
People laughing, man.
But like anyway, I guarantee they're going to pay me more to hurt you because it'll be funny to watch. Everyone loves seeing you hurt because of the amount of shit you stir
Well,
up with people.
Okay, so, basically, people are watching and they're saying that they're going to do it. They're going to give me money to do it.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, they want to.
You
They want
pay
to
me
give me
hospitalisation as well. Come on, try it. Try, motherfucker.
Cheapest is still the cup. Really, is it, Sam?
Yeah, but it doesn't look good. Mate, if you know anything about my game, which is actually a proper fighting game, no cup is going to make any fucking difference on this thing. It's going to liquidate his testicles, mate.
And by the way, I love you, Sam.
So yeah, if you want to use him later, it's probably not an area to go. Well, you'll hit those high notes. Sorry, I'm gonna put it. You'll hit those high notes though. For the rest
Oh
of the
yeah, definitely. I'll sound like fucking Donald Duck. You know.
No, well, that's the whole castrate thing. They'd actually like mash the testicles so they could reach those high pitched voices. Yeah, they'd mash the testicles, mate. They'd pickle them in vinegar and mash them and like fucking Yeah, they break them up, like crush them and everything, man. It's full on nasty stuff. I didn't ask Castrati and he wasn't that good at it. And he was the only one ever recorded. Yeah, something like the 18, well, the first part of this century, but he was born late 1800s. And he was only like B grade or whatever, he wasn't that good. But they reckon Castratis could hit notes that no one else could.
Yeah.
But yeah, look that one up, Castratis. Yeah, Castratis, they fucking...
There's something else I wanted to talk about tonight, and that was the Cosmic Psychos, right?
Yes.
And
we tend to go in circles when we're drinking.
did
because
we
we're
talk
drunk.
about that?
Yeah, we've touched on it, but we tend to go,
okay.
as I say, we tend to go around in circles around because we're drunk. You know, and what do drunks do? Go in circles. That's what makes all this shit fun, because we go in circles. And everyone else gets drunk with us, so they're actually walking the same circles. So we're all walking in fucking circles. Feel dizzy yet? I fucking do. In future, if you're going to pay us for these shows, beer. Cartons of Guinness, please.
Yeah, send it right to the shop front.
Yeah, right to the shop front. Or you can just BWS down the road, then the boys will make sure we get it.
Yeah.
They'll probably actually personally deliver it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, boys. Keeping us happy.
But yeah, like, how influential has our punk been around the world for different...
Oh,
you know,
for many,
different,
many, many years.
like-
Okay, Rose Tattoo, classic example, Rose Tattoo.
Yeah.
The song Rose Tattoo done by Dropkick Murphys, from the original band Rose Tattoo. Angry Anderson, I've always been a fan of, and I'm going to kill all the controversy about his racism and what racist, blah blah blah. Bullshit about him now.
He
Because
went
look,
over.
I'm going to say this about him now because he's a good man. Now he did a TV show, Go Back to Where You Come From. Now he used to have his very firm attitude about immigrants. A very firm attitude about him, and we used to be his only downfall. But he went and he did this show, and he went to Afghanistan, and he saw the heroin addiction and the problems and everything had gone on. And Angry cried. He cried on camera.
Right.
I've never seen anyone knows anything about Angry. Angry does not cry, and he bawled like a baby on camera. Showed that human. And now his group actually, and I shouldn't say it out loud because they don't do it for the they do it for the namesake or anything, but they actually now do charities and that to help drug addicts and things in Afghanistan, because he saw the misery himself and it moved him so much. He actually decided that it's his duty as a human being to do something about it, to address this issue.
He
So
basically
Angry
ate his own
stepped
words.
up. Yeah, he did.
He ate his
stepped
own
up
words.
and he did it. He ate his own words. He stepped up and he did something about an issue. So I think like everyone in the Afghanistan community in Australia should really thank Angry and his group for the work they are doing there in Afghanistan. And look, thank you, Angry. I've always been a fan of your stuff. I'm not going to go too much into it recently, but we do send our condolences, our love and our respect. And we hope the tours and that you were doing just really pick you up again, mate. And yeah, love everything you do. But yeah, Angry Anderson, I'll always be a fan of his stuff. But Rose Tattoo, Dropkick Murphys loved his stuff. I mean, they're really moved by his work, and they actually do like a lot of Australian punk as well. They like coming down here, but yeah, unfortunately, some little fashion dickheads. So they're going to threaten them online.
Definitely, and
Yeah, well, don't worry about it, boys.
we all
know.
know what we do with those dickheads, don't
Yeah.
we?
You come down,
Especially-
boys. Come
especially-
down, not a problem. We'll take care of them.
Yeah, especially what we do, Johnny and me and a lot of the other sharps
Yeah.
against fascism and racism and
Yeah, well, we
Yeah,
don't
Nazis.
need it, we want to bring everyone here, we want to have ours go over there, we don't want to have any trouble, any discrimination or anything, we just want to come together and have a good time. That's what we want. We don't want politics, we don't want racism, we don't want hate, we don't want nothing. We just want to come together and have a good time, forget all our issues, forget everything that's plaguing us, all those problems throughout the week, and just come together and have fun.
And that's what we're about, like this is more one of our chill back days, but
during the week we were doing so much work
Oh, I ended up
for,
look, I must
for the
have
apartments down there.
That's right.
And
I
getting
must have
all those
tortured
out
the
lockdown.
poor girl I know because of my mania, and I ended up. Oh, Charlotte, I really am sorry, and I ended up having seizures and everything, and like it's an unfortunate part of my
You
life.
don't need to be sorry.
No, I do. No, I do because you got to understand. These problems I have are the reason why I never have direct relationships because, yeah, epilepsy, mental illness, all that is not good to put on anyone. You know, so yeah, these are big things, and yeah, it did. It stressed me the fuck out. I ended up having seizures. My mania went through the roof. Couldn't sleep.
Well, we all know, all of us, we all know that we struggle with those.
Oh shit, yeah.
Especially skinheads. We
We were talking about this tonight, weren't we? That all skinheads and punks, we do tend to suffer mental illness, mental problems, and the reason we are that tribe is we tend to be each other's support network.
Yeah, and we're heavy on that. You know,
Yeah,
that's,
we are.
That's another reason why Sydney and Melbourne should unite
Yeah.
for this, because we all understand that common struggle.
Yeah, that's
You know?
right. And it's a big part of who we are. That's why we tend to seek each other out, don't we?
Yeah.
When there's a new one who sort of finds out who he is, we sort of seek them out.
And, you know, it's worth it when you actually do see new people coming into
Yeah.
the subculture and everything.
And they find a reassurance of family.
Yeah, and
Something they've never had before.
that emotional learning that you experience with people, because they become like your brothers and sisters.
Well,
Brother
they
and
are your
sister.
brother and sister.
Brother and sisterhood.
That's right. They're part of your family. They're part of your tribe. You're all united. And that's what we need to start being more of. United.
Yeah.
Stop fighting. Stop making it our personalities. Come together, work together, and build something better. Because that's what punk and skinhead and all this is about.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and even with the crust punk scene as well. You guys are awesome as well.
Yeah, I love giving you crusty shit. You guys are cool. Yeah, you take it.
Bucky,
You
we
guys
love
take
ya.
it well, mate.
Bucky,
You guys
we
take
love
it
ya.
Really fucking
We
well.
do love you.
Yeah, Bucky, get well, buddy.
Yeah.
Please get well. Yeah, and I hope all the treatment and everything's going well. And like everyone, like is worried about Bucky. Do remember social distancing. Do remember he's sick, but please do get in contact with him. Say, hey, how you going, mate? You know, he's probably going to be feeling a bit down at the moment. So, you know, just to leave you one of your good friends, reach out, mate.
He's basically got a mind of stone and a heart of gold.
He does.
You know, so
But he's a human being. He's going to suffer like anyone else.
yeah, but he's a very strong individual, and that's, you know, what I've got to say for everyone else as well. You know, I've known people in the scene over years that have had really debilitating illnesses and everything, and the way that we all come together and actually support each other. Sometimes we even joke about it and all that kind of stuff, just to relieve the tension.
Yeah, well,
And
that's right.
that's what we're about with the unity
Yeah.
of prospective things, you know.
And for me, it's a great relief here on this side of the country because in WA, my support network isn't, because there's not many of us over there, is actually Indigenous, because on an Indigenous tribe, they understand mental illness, that they leave you alone to be crazy. They understand what they call kid brain, things like that. And they do really well with it, so it's good there. When I'm there, I've got my tribe I go to out in the bush and they look after me. But here I don't have that. Here, not at all. You know, and I'm not going all the way on a plane to the Kimberley and then 3-4 hours out in the middle of the desert to go and start my tribe for a few months.
How does that make you feel?
Well, you're isolated, mate, same as anyone else. But those who grew up on the communities is much worse.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they come over here, which is only option for schooling, and mate, they feel really isolated. Which is, you know, if you do know an Indigenous kid from the desert over here, like, take the time with them, because look, it's hard to explain for non-Indigenous, but they will feel really isolated from that family environment they grew up in. That is a very strong support network when you need it most.
Yeah, and that's important for light-skinned Indigenous people
Well,
and
all
you know,
people, I think.
dark-skinned and everyone else in between.
Yeah,
Okay?
I think, look,
everyone
it's
else
about
in
a
between,
support
you know?
network. Because my mental illness, I don't date that much because it is a big fucking thing to date. You know, I'm complicated. I have my issues. But because of that, I need a support network. They're usually all my single mum mates that I've either known from school or over the years, and we're really good friends. I'm just as much their support network as mine. I've needed that, and because I've needed that, it hasn't put me in bad relationship situations as much as I do tend to get into them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, like when you have an actual emotional awareness about where you come from on your own emotions and everything, and try to understand, you know, each other more closely. In humanity, that's a beautiful thing, and that's why in punk and skinhead and in every subculture around the world, there should be those kinds of support networks for everyone, you know, and, you know, give a bit of time to check up on your friends and everything. You know, recently, and I mentioned this before, I checked up on one of my friends, Robert, because he was, you know, he was going
how
a
you
bit
going,
crazy,
Robert?
man.
We're all giving you your space for a bit, buddy, but as soon as you're on the track again, mate,
Yeah,
we're there for you.
yeah, exactly.
So, sometimes people do actually need their space,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
with mental illness and that, and it is good to give it to them.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that's you gotta respect the actual bounds that, you know, people actually put out there. You know.
That's exactly right. People understand their bounds. That's why they do what they do. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, that is something, man. It's 1 a.m. Oh,
No, I think the time of that is screwed on that one.
really?
No, it is 1 a.m.
Oh, okay. Well, we have done quite a long stream tonight.
No, we've done 2 hours because we did 11, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And there's only 2 hours. We're not even near the long streams. The long streams are 3 hours of what we do.
Yeah. Well, we can look at some other films and stuff, man. You know, just
Yeah,
if
well,
that's
we've
not
got
fun.
them lined up. So,
Yeah.
okay. Next, I think we're going to have a look at the classic SLC punk. I mean, I do. I was actually only introduced to SLC punk later in life because I look, growing up the way I did, it wasn't, we were staunchly Australian. It's just that we were against the whole American influences coming in, dominating our culture.
Well, that's actually an interesting thing, because, you know, Radio Birdman and all of that, they're Australian punk, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went overseas and they toured to the American states, and people had their mohawks and their spiky jackets, and they thought, that's really wanky. You know, like, to be punk, you don't need to have a mohawk.
That's right, but that
You don't
should
need
be,
to have a shaved head or boots.
It should
you
be
know.
worth saying that's their opinion too. I mean, everyone expresses themselves differently, like especially me,
Yeah.
But people don't know whether I'm rude boy, punk, or skinhead. Well, it's because who gives a fuck? I'm me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the fighting rude. Who gives a fuck what I am?
Yeah, that's something which, you know, especially in Australia, we have that kind of culture where, okay, within the punk scene and everything, we don't need to prove ourselves.
No, you
to
don't.
anyone.
Why should you have to prove? Like, I constantly tell him this with what we're doing in business and in life and everything. Don't justify yourself and what you do to anyone.
I
Because
try to.
if you have to justify what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it.
I try to actually, you know, take those words off. You know, that's
My father taught me it, and my father wasn't a dumb man. Those who know who he is, he was a very successful man.
But yeah, this movie. One thing that I've got to say about this movie is they're too clean.
Well, you've got to remember American cinema, mate. Look, American cinema, it has to appeal to a broader audience than it does actually here in Australia.
Oh wait, that's.
Oh, sorry, no, it moved on me.
Ah, it's okay. It's good. Don't worry about it. But yeah, like you know, like I only mean it by the actual cinematography.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
mean the characters.
Oh,
the
yeah,
characters
no.
are fine,
Oh, okay.
but
I get
it's
what you mean.
overly produced. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
no,
got too
but
much
that,
production.
then again, see, that's another American trait. We don't tend to do that so much. We like our gritty, dirty bars and all the rest, which is good. I love it too. but Americans love their production value. That's where you see that Latin influence, where there's a high production value to their punk. Well, that's a US influence, because you got to remember, it's not, when you say America, it isn't just USA, which I've got to be clearly on this. When you say America, it doesn't just mean USA, it actually means Latin America, because it's a whole
Yeah, definitely.
So
That's actually
production
very important.
values are an important thing, which is why talking with Johnny Kahn was interesting, because we got that whole Latin, because Johnny's actually got, because I didn't want to explore a lot of that interview again because I didn't get anything out, but Johnny's actually got a couple of docos coming out. He's got, I think, one coming out in Stan on the LA punk scene in the next 4 months. A movie of his is on hold, an indigenous movie called The Warrior, which is coming out, which has another friend of mine acting in that as well, which we will get on the show.
Definitely a very interesting movie to actually go and watch, guys, because it does have that kind of psychedelic element to it and all that kind of stuff.
Which one are you talking about? You
like the Call of the Warrior one?
Call of the Warrior, from what I've seen on it, no, it's more of an exploration of an indigenous person's, like, you know, in the whole punk world and everything, and their manhood.
Oh, really?
You know,
Very interesting.
Like we talked about in the interview about the whole masculine thing within Latin culture, because you got to understand, this is why we're doing Latino this week and Latina next week, is because like indigenous you have the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, and each has to be respected equally.
What we were talking about earlier, the actual, there is a huge problem, and I know this
Oh, you
personally.
mean the sexualisation of Latin culture or indigenous culture in general?
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
okay, no, this is a real true thing, and it does get to me. I mean, people look at Latin women as always angry and arguing. Well, look, if you didn't piss them off, they probably wouldn't stab you. Look, that's a reality, because obviously you have offended them that much, they are going to. I mean, yeah, okay, they might be a bit angry if you're not from that culture, but look, I grew up in indigenous culture up north, and let me tell you, what you white people are saying is angry Latina woman, blah, 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 that's just an indigenous woman, man.
Yeah.
That's what an indigenous woman like, and we like them like that, you know, because they've got a bit of character. But you shouldn't sexualise that. It's like what we're talking about, Lyre. We're going to give Lyre a shout out. I love Lyre's stuff. I love Lyre as a musician.
Oh,
She is
yeah,
great.
Lyre.
She is hard as fuck. But you've got to know where this line between respect and sexualisation lies.
Yeah. The lead singer of Lyre, I think she's actually Malaysian. She does this really good performance where, you know, she's a
Well, no.
bit of a
Her
time-
family's Malaysian. She's Aussie.
Yeah.
And to me, she just reminds me of all the girls that I grew up with back home.
Yeah.
That hardcore Aussie girl with Malaysian heritage and all the rest. You know, she reminds me of that.
But yeah, like she has that kind of like really like projection. Like she's small,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she goes in there and
Mate, you know,
like,
my
it's like
sister
she's like
is
7 foot
smaller
tall.
than Lai. My sister is smaller than Lai, and she was drinking bikers under the table at 16.
yeah.
She's married to one of the rebels up north, but yeah, she was drinking bikers. Don't fuck with little women, mate. Do not screw with there's always little women and tall men in my family. Because the Asian side is a little women. Yeah, my mother, my sister is tiny. And she can put them away like a Clark, I can tell you.
Yeah.
She does know Indonesian as well. My sister, because we teach Indonesian and Malaysian in our schools over in Broome.
Yeah, but like when we went and saw Lie over at Last Chance Bar, which I've got to give a shout out to. Last Chance is really awesome, guys. If you
want a good punk bar, like not
Yeah.
a mainstream punk bar in Melbourne, get up to Last Chance.
Yeah.
Honestly, get up to Last Chance. Check the stage out the back. It is really good. It's one of those old stages, those old theatre stages. So it's got a lot of character in the place. I love it.
Oh yeah.
I really love Last Chance.
I do. It kind of, it nearly has the vibe the Art House did, and for all you
and
old
it's
school,
that stage. It's that stage that does it.
all you old school. Okay, my girlfriend's giving me love hearts. I love you too. All those old, all
Don't
that.
do that on camera. Don't do that on camera. I'll liquidate his nuts.
Oh. Okay. But the Art House down here, the Art House was a very classic bar. It had a whole wall devoted to every single band that was
Oh,
playing there.
mate,
You know?
you got to remember, I mean, you guys look at me, oh, he's from the bush. I lived here 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So
What were your experiences in the art house?
well, most of it drunk.
Yeah, but
Drunk and high.
How fun? How much?
It
fun
was.
did you
It was
have?
lots of fun because we were
Yeah.
drunk and high and listening to great music. It was. It was fun.
Yeah, but yeah, like that kind of open kind of environment, and you had your bar right there, and then you had the wall devoted to all the bands.
Yeah, I
and
think,
you'd go right in.
my whole time here, I'd only been there a few times, but yeah, it was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Well, Last Chance has that. It
Yeah,
has that
it
middle
does.
bar.
It does, which is why
you know,
I
you-
like Last Chance. Because when I think
It's
of
an
Melbourne,
open area.
that's what I think of.
It's an open area too. It's really well designed and everything. And the owner's lovely. The owner of the place, she's really lovely.
Yeah, look, I love going in there with both of them and having a good old chat to both of them.
So yeah,
Hey guys, look, we will be down, we'll go down and have a dinner down there sometime and a beer, and we'll probably have a chat, because we actually do want it with the Johnny Khan promo for his new punk doco coming out in a few months. We are going to put on, at the Last Chance here, Australia and the Philippines are going to get a little, early release. I think you're going to do LA first and then we get the second. So
Yeah.
we're going to have a showing down here at Last Chance for a new LA punk documentary, which is why I'm doing so much work with the Americans, is to try and get that type of stuff released here to try and inspire a lot of us.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like and also the whole framework of what we do.
Yeah.
My goodness, man, like we will sit in there, we'll do like a little blurb.
Oh yeah,
And,
we'll do a
you know-
blurb before it all. We'll go through it. We'll get Johnny up on cam. We'll give him a bit of shit. We'll convince him for about 20, 30 minutes of that absolute crap.
But yeah, like
No, Johnny, I won't do that to you, mate. Sorry.
Melinda, if you're watching this as well, let's collab on some certain things.
Oh
'cause,
yes, definitely.
because if we get this LA thing going,
Yeah,
It's
well,
gonna
we
be
do want
big.
to do a lot of crossovers, so they want to see a lot of our stuff too. Now, what we are doing with the LA is they're sending over a care package, and we're going to do the same. We're going to send a care package from this end. Now, the Filipino care package is coming here as well, and we're going to send it on from here. We're just going to put in we're going to put in music, shirts, docos, whatever, and we're going to send it over to them. And they're going to have to go through the stuff as well. And so this way we're going to promote this sort of cross-cultural...
we're setting up a kind of cultural punk
cultural
trade
exchange.
network.
It's cultural
Yeah.
exchange. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's cultural exchange. And so we'll get to have a look at each other's albums, listen to each other's music, and be inspired the old way, where you actually got an album and you put it in, you physically had something.
And yeah, guys, like as the shows go on and everything.
Formats will improve. We're going to put the software together on this, so we'll be able to cross over to
Oh
videos
my goodness!
like
And
this.
then you guys will send in real time videos to us,
Yeah.
and they'll come right up on the screen.
Yep, and we'll be able to go straight through them.
Mm.
And we'll be able to look at your music, be able to say, okay, yeah, this is cool, this is crap.
Yeah.
Give you shit or give you praise. I mean, it's not bad shit. When we give you shit, it's all fun. Because it's all about having a good old laugh, and you've got to have to understand that as a muso, is be able to take that criticism. It's the hardest. One of the reasons I
Well,
wouldn't
you
be a muso,
guys-
quite
you
honestly,
guys-
I couldn't deal with it.
You guys are our friends.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's just how we view it. And
Yeah, well, it's not an audience, it's friends, isn't it?
yeah, it is. It's
We're
friends.
just monkeys on the stage, mate, making asses of ourselves.
Yeah.
We're
We talk loads of shit. That's what we do, man.
Bingo, and it keeps everybody entertained. I mean, you've been locked in for 6 weeks, maybe a year. Fucking get used to it. That is the other thing we do need to have a serious talk about the virus.
Yeah.
Sorry, I popped a hernia. I have like titanium mesh holding most of my scrotum in place. Now, the virus has reached a new, not dangerous level, but well, it is a dangerous level. But it is a way. This is why we're doing the lockdown and things like this, and trying to find other alternatives to going out, because it looks like it may have gone airborne. They're still researching and stuff like that. So we really have to have lockdown areas until they clean the virus out of an area, like fully.
Yeah.
And then try again.
I've read into it. It's basically droplet transmission, and droplet transmission is
Mask everywhere you go.
You know-
even if you don't have a cold, don't have a sneeze, mask. Don't have a mask, bandana. Don't have a bandana, cut a sleeve off a shirt right around your face.
it's so bad at the moment. You
That's
can talk
right.
to someone and be asymptomatic. You can
Yeah.
talk to them and give them the virus because of all the
Yeah,
particles
that's
that are
right.
coming out of their mouth.
Walking down the street, cover the face. If it's hard for you to breathe, stop. Stop walking for
And
a couple of
that's the
seconds.
thing, you know, this year is going to be tough on everyone.
Yeah.
So let us all come together and
Yeah, this
you
isn't
know,
about you struggling. This is about us all struggling.
everyone's going to struggle, you know, except for the 1% in the world who are taking advantage of it, which I'm not going to get into.
Well,
But
we've covered that a few times tonight. I think we have made a point about that. Especially our politicians. Our politicians do need to take an immediate pay cut. An immediate pay cut. We are not taking cuts to any more infrastructure, and they need to take an immediate pay cut.
We-
all
we-
perks cut.
we-
No more holidays, no more nothing.
What is happening with our telecommunications? It's so bad.
Oh.
I can't believe that we have basically third world internet. Years ago, we made a promise. to
We
the
were
world.
20 years ahead of the world, Bucks.
We made a promise to the world that we were going to be the first pioneers of fibre internet, and that's what
And we
made a
almost were.
And
And
yeah,
then what happened? Johnny Howard came along and sold off Telstra so his mates could buy it.
yeah, with the T3 shares.
Yeah,
and
and
that.
sold Trujillo. Now look that one up. However, Sol Trujillo was allowed to run Telstra, God only knows, because he was not allowed to run a corporation anywhere else in the world, anywhere, but because he was John Howard's mate, he was allowed to here. You should be asking questions like that and why it was never investigated, as well as the Jubilee radar system, which could see stealth aircraft, which we need now with the whole bullshit with China and everything America's dragging us into.
Well, you know, John Howard is basically our version of Margaret Thatcher.
And little Maggie Thatcher, no, he was worse. Like, he was a Trump too. No, he screwed us over militarily when we needed it most. Had to do the Jubilee radar system. He tried. They actually made the Collinscraft sub inefficient by automation, and then tried to use it as an excuse to sell it to the Americans, which was a condition of why it was sold to us, that we didn't sell it to Americans. The Navy had to step in with an injunction.
Yeah.
You don't hear it in any of this.
No.
But it is actually all this stuff actually happened, but you don't hear about it because it's always portrayed because conservatives speak for the military. Well, history tells us another story there.
You know, there are loads of other countries that do this stuff too, but you know, you don't actually really hear it that much outside of the Second World, Third World nations. You know, there has been a massive review into Australian politics and where we actually
Okay,
sit.
now this is why we're covering Latin America here. Now there was a report about 3-4 years ago that listed Australian corruption in our political system as bad as Latin American dictatorships. This is an international. It's gone UN and everything. Murdoch, Morrison buried it.
We are now classified as a closed democracy, not an
A
open
failed democracy, actually. It was
Yeah.
classed as a failed democracy.
Mm.
Now, I'm
That's
going to
how
say
bad
that
it's
again.
getting.
Failed democracy. Now, if you are not aware of this, and your media isn't making you aware of this, turn your media off. Because it's not telling you what's happening.
An important point here, he's not the only one who's sprung up this report. Several of my friends over the years...
Oh yeah, but I always get made out to be crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm more informed than Australian journalists. I am 2 weeks ahead of the Australian journalists because I know where they get their news from. You want to avoid watching Australian news? Get everything from Reuters, get the app, get everything from Reuters and just watch your local news, like your local newspaper and stuff like that. You will be more informed than any Australian journalist, I guarantee it. Promise you. Try it out for 6 months.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Watch, try it.
And that's the thing, you know, we do need to, instead of having a bloody revolution like...
Oh, bloody revolutions don't work. This country, if you had a rum rebellion, mate, look that up.
Okay, you know, we need to work on actually working in our communities and working towards actually putting together, dismantling parts of our system through actually building things through our system.
That's right, while keeping other parts that actually work. You see, you've got to remember our system, before how it changed in 1996, it was basically social democracy, with 50% communism, or 50% socialism, 50% capitalism, which meant we had national infrastructure that could employ more people when there weren't many jobs.
That's a fact.
Right?
That's a fact.
And give you training, which you got through Telstra. We had lines when everything changed through Telstra, which Telstra don't do these days. You have to pay for yourself. Now, so we changed that system. We sold off Telstra, our infrastructure, which was all government owned and keep people employed, and now it's all privately run and it's inefficient. And you know, these companies are all about profit. When it's a government run industry, it's not about profit, it's about creating jobs. So you can
Profit over people.
That's right. You can heat and cool your economy by hiring and firing people, and that way at the same time your national industries set a benchmark that private industries have to beat, which is why a lot of these American corporates say, what happened? Everyone thinks China owns most of Australia. They don't. They own about, out of foreign-owned land, China owns 2%. America owns 26%. And then you've got Britain on top. I think between them it's almost 50 to 60%. They own most of Australia. And it was that which came in with the anti-Chinese stuff and all the rest.
Yeah, because American corporations actually have a foothold.
Oh, hugely.
In our media.
Prisons, okay, our private prisons networks are actually, that's
one
another
thing that
US
has pissed me
corporation.
off over the years is our private prisons. Yes.
Yeah, no, they should be closed immediately and we go back to the old system. Even allowing prisoners to have a smoke. Denying prisoners a smoke, it is just a crime against humanity, I'm sorry. I do not care what you hippies or anyone else bloody says. Denying a prisoner a smoke is a crime against humanity.
No, that is true. That is true. What
It's
else?
disgusting they think it's okay. And they kept secret riots in these prisons across Australia when these corporate people brought in. You know why they brought in? Because by Australian law, every Australian prisoner is entitled to a packet of bloody White Ox. Yeah. And they didn't want to pay for it. It was all about cutting corners, cutting costs, denying those poor guys in those cells any civil rights, any humanity. And then when they spoke up, the media did nothing. I'm sorry, I am a bit emotional about that because I've mates a certain time.
We are supposed to be rehabilitating people properly into our society.
Mm-hmm.
There are places like Norway that do certain social prison systems, and they work wonders.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They have like a 95%.
Japan.
You know.
Oh, Japan has one of the best, best prison systems.
So our prisons should not be private owned.
No, never.
They should be government owned.
They should.
That
they
is-
should be
that is
run properly.
For fact.
Yeah.
Because the responsibility of rehabilitating a criminal into society to make them more of a personable, human being in society.
Well, to make them more acceptable to society.
Yeah.
Look, you've got to remember, okay, somebody's done a crime, somebody's done something stupid. We've all done something stupid.
Oh, everyone has. I've done
Okay,
massive
with the
stupid
exception
shit.
of certain crimes, yes, and those guns should get shanked and knifed, and what does happen to them in prison, because the prison do police their own. But look, you do the time, you've learned your lesson, you come out, that crime should never account to you. It's like using drugs in the past. If you were once a junkie and you aren't now, the fact that you were a junkie in the past should not be relevant to your life now. If anything, the fact you gave up those drugs, were able to beat them, should be the relevant fact in your life.
And even I know friends personally who have admitted they've been junkies before, and then they come off of that.
That's right. That's one of the reasons I speak so plainly. It is to really lay down that line. If you can't give up what you do, you shouldn't do it. I follow that rule. Mate, look, when I'm in Latin America, you don't think I don't love a good snort? Fucking love it. Go to town. But that's culturally accepted. That's okay there. When I'm in Australia, I don't. I don't touch it in Australia because there's too much shit, too much bullshit, too much crap. but it's just, yeah, it's not what we do. My father was actually really similar. He would go to Bali and Thailand and that. My dad was anti-drug. Never fucking touched a drug really in his life. The day I came home with a bottle of scotch as a teenager, he hit fucking roof. He thought that was an alcohol. He thought that was almost a drug.
Yeah,
But,
my father went off at me for having a homebrew kit.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
was-
let me finish. Yeah, you go send my dad to Bali or Thailand, mate, and you got these bowls with uppers and downers on the table. He's fucking reaching in them and popping them. And his rule is, you know, when he goes over there, that's what it's for. It's okay, it's acceptable to do it there. But when you come back here, you don't, because it's not here.
Everyone has a member of their family, mum or dad or, you know, uncle or grandma, you know, that's like that, you know. It's just
Oh, my whole
one
family
thing,
like that.
you know?
I'm actually the black sheep of a black sheep family.
Yeah.
Quite easily. my family party the fuck hard. They're all big fucking strong storage cunts. Yeah, they all party hard, mate. Even my little
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah, my family's notorious for being black sheeps as well, you know, it's like...
Oh, you would never party like a Clark. Anyone who actually knows my family or my sister knows that one.
My father, the Epping parties in Sydney, where he had whole streets blocked off with cars, motorbikes.
What, you mean my
All that.
21st in Broome, where I cleaned out 2 nightclubs and I had the famous Peter Willis once turn around and say, if I ever did that again, he would shoot me. Yeah, that was my 21st.
my
I had
dad-
riot police and everything.
My dad had, like, they couldn't fit people in the house. And he had this band called Crystal Eagle at the time. And they used to play for motorcycle clubs around Sydney. I'm not going to really mention any names. I don't like dropping. But yeah, you know,
Nah, Pete's old mate. He knows why I dropped that one. He's a good bloke, that one.
yeah. But yeah, like, you know, he used to have
There you
the
go, mate.
most
You're
insane
alright.
parties. He lived in a haunted house while he was doing it as well, and there was stories of like people that would stay over, and they'd stay over on the floor, and they'd sleep on the floor, and they'd hear tapping on the windows, like it was raining really hard on the
Yeah.
windows, but it was just like tapping. And one night my mum comes out for a drink of water, and this girl is just running out the door.
Oh, is this the
half
haunted
naked.
one you were talking about?
Yeah, because this ghost was tapping on the window.
Yeah.
And my dad was living with
Oh
his,
yeah, that was one. I'm getting the like old seal on the back of the
my
neck.
my
Black
dad
colour of me
my
getting there.
dad was living with a guy that me and Maddie knew. No, Maddie knew. Actually, Maddie knew.
No,
Sorry.
new or no?
Knew.
What, so they're
Yeah.
dead, are they? That's
You
why
know?
they say new. They say
Big
dead.
G, Broadmeadows.
Oh,
And G, he said, "Oh man, I don't fuck around with this spirit stuff." And he got really scared.
Are you
with-
kidding?
He got
But
really scared of it.
that's all. Look,
No, he got really scared of it because of what was happening in the house. At the
now I
time, my
know
dad
why I
was as
freaked
well.
him out. All right, now I learn a new thing every day. Now I know I freaked him out. Oh, we don't talk about old mentor mate of mine. I miss the old bugger. I wish he was still alive.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about him.
Yeah, one of the reasons I stick up for prisoners, he died in jail having his head kicked in by police.
Yeah,
That's right.
when I told my dad about that, he nearly shed a tear as well.
Yeah, I didn't like it either, mate. Like I was fucking on the run.
My goodness. But yeah, my dad used to do all the parties in Sydney for all the biker boys up there and everything, and he used to try and do a lot of stuff. And one night, my dad was pretty notorious with organising gigs in Sydney, and one night he had a phone call. Right, he had a phone call from a guy, and he was like, "Oh yeah, okay, we want to play with you guys in Sydney, you know, Crystal Eagle and everything."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, who are you?" And it's like, "Oh, Midnight Oil." And my dad was like, "Haven't heard of ya," and he hangs up the phone.
No!
And I'm just
Oh,
like,
no.
I hear the story, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You know, Midnight Oil used to do a concert in Broome every year for Stomping Ground, which is an Indigenous one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the videos they do with the Indigenous people. Yeah, well, they're like the aunties and that up where I'm from.
Mm.
Like, yeah, there's a few of the bands up there.
But yeah.
they're great.
My,
My God.
my dad also, when he was in the house, he passed out drunk on the floor. This was just before he had me. I think this was like ages ago. But yeah, like he passed
Well,
out drug.
yeah, 28 years. Well, he didn't have you. Your mum had you, and it was 28 years ago. Of course, it was ages ago.
Well, you think my
Like,
dad
like,
had me through a stick
I
or some shit?
swear, like that flat spot in the back of his head, it's just pushed all the brain forward and bashed it.
Okay, but yeah, like anyway, he was passed out on the floor and he's just like, oh, I need a cigarette, and he's just getting up and he's rolling himself to smoke. And this guy with a leather jacket on and a bandana kind of thing around his head is just out on the couch, and he's like, "Boy, you got a fucking durry?"
Stop talking about the dead, cunt.
No,
Seriously,
Mick
stop
Jagger. Mick
Oh,
Jagger.
that's the Jagger story.
It was Mick Jagger
Fucking cool.
on the couch.
Well, hold on.
And-
You weren't talking about the dead. He's a living dead, isn't he?
He is.
He
pretty
looks
much.
like the living dead, especially now.
So my father's just sitting there talking to Mick Jagger, and you know, he's like, "What the fuck, Mick Jagger's in my house?" You know, like
Were his lips really that fucking big?
I don't know, mate. You know, that's.
Did you hear about how Mick Jagger got black eyes? He hung his head out the car as he like driving on. Yeah. Women must love those things.
Anyway, I'll be back.
Why, he's leaving me on me up, you're stuck with me now, but
Yeah.
yeah, you're stuck with me, it's punishment time. Lord Humongous there is going into the toilet and probably got a butt fucked up. Alright, well fuckers, I'm a little bit drunk tonight because I don't really drink much anymore while I'm getting the shop going. But it's good to be drunk, I haven't been drunk in a while. We all like getting drunk. I'm going to steal a couple of beers for you there.
I just did a natty.
What, you stunk out the toilet? You stunk out the toilet. No joke, I love doing it to him in the morning too. It's a great thing about being an
Oh
old
my
man.
God, no!
I was sitting here some morning, just
No.
having my cigarette, my coffee, just waiting for him to walk in the toilet. I swear he's almost vomiting in the door or someone. It's great. It's just like, Matty, you fat bastard! It's great. It's great. I'm gonna film it one morning for a video. He's almost vomiting at the door. I'm just sitting there.
You know, when you walk in after your dad's taken like morning shit, and it's like
I do dad poos.
that older
Especially
older
after
man
this stuff.
kind of shit smell.
Especially after this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep. Yeah.
it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
It's like my face is about to melt off, like in Indiana Jones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where the guy goes and he tries to get the Holy Grail.
Have
and
I
his face
ever
melts
told
off.
you? Have I ever told you about one of my mates in England after he was drinking Guinness? His farts were that bad, the pub actually thought it had a gas leak. No joke. They cleaned out the whole pub and like sent in police and everything looking for a gas leak when the only gas leak was out of his arse. Like, if you've ever been in a bedroom with me after these, you
No.
know how dangerous it is.
No.
Oh, it's
Oh
terrible.
my God!
I stink myself out of my own room.
Don't-
I fart myself awake from the smell. I do.
Don't
I
light a
wake up.
lighter in his room.
Oh, I do. I do.
It
The
is
flame
like-
goes really high. It does. The flame actually goes high. I'm surprised. You know, if I'm going to die, it's probably going to be from methane. I'm probably going to be the only guy in history who gasses himself to death after a night of Guinness.
I'm betting there are a few Australian punk songs about gassing their friends to death. with-
It would
with,
probably
like,
involve me.
bars.
Yeah, it would probably involve me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would definitely involve me.
Oh my God.
But it's great fun.
I just keep thinking about the Cosmic Psychos.
Which song?
Fucking,
Which song?
a great day to go to the pub. And then like
That's just like teasing bastards right now, don't you? Cosmic Psycho's great day. He is just teasing every single one of yous. Who's going to pay me $20 to punch him for that one? Yeah, great day to go to the pub. Yeah, fuck
If
you,
you
buddy.
pay me $5, I will wipe my bum all over his hat. $5.
Dude, like, seriously, you know how quick I am. I'm faster than you. I get those nuts from here. Oh, I reckon
I
get
will
nuts from here.
leave a big brown smear.
Oh!
I will leave a big
Oh, we
brown
all saw
smear.
that.
A big,
We all saw that.
you know, the big brown.
You're lucky I stopped there,
I will
buddy.
give you
You're lucky I
a
stopped.
of poo.
We almost liquidated his testicles on the camera. We all saw that. You can all go back. You can all go back and zoom in on how quick that was, yes. I did almost liquidate his nuts on fucking camera and knew exactly when to stop it. Yeah, so you can imagine what I can do if I want to do.
But yeah, a
$50.
big brown
$50, 150, I'll make him cough the walnuts right across the room.
What the Jesus Christ, Matty. But yeah, like
Yeah, now you see why they
Johnny,
call me the
Johnny,
psycho sadistic
Johnny.
fuck.
there is limited time. $5 and I can't do it right now.
Johnny, $50 and I'll just liquidate those testicles on Bucky.
Yeah, but
camera.
mine is $5, so ooh.
Yeah, but which is funnier? Which is funnier?
Yeah.
You like wiping your fat ass on something, which is probably going to make half the world vomit. Or you getting your testicles so mashed you're on the floor going, oh, you know, which is, come on, which is going to be funny? Johnny, $50, seriously, mate.
No,
$50.
$5.
$50. I'll give you my
I'm
pay
being-
now.
I'm
I will
being
give you.
cheap.
I will put my
I'm being
PayPal
as
up.
cheap
I
as
will put
Gigi
my.
Allen.
Yeah, of course, you're
Yeah.
cheap. But what happens when you get cheap entertainment? It's shit.
No,
I offer
exactly.
value for money. I do. I offer value for money. $50. You can either go cheap or you can get value for money. Which would you prefer?
I think you would go for the cheap.
Oh, I can guarantee because there's enough of them there, they'll each be putting in $10 each. Or they'll go and ring their mates and they'll all put $5 in each, and they will be all $5.
I have a
And you
feeling,
all get to
I have a
watch.
feeling all the Latin kids from America will be sending me money.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I reckon they're going to be sending me money because they're going to love to see me Clockwork Orange.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon they will. I reckon just see me Clockwork Orange. And I will. I'll Clockwork Orange. I'll find a big.
Oh my god.
I will beat you to death on camera with a big penis statue. That will be an extra 20. Because he'll enjoy it. It's actually the biggest preferred way. Oh, what in Mungus? You would love every bit of it. Beaten to death by a cock. He'd be like your fucking, what was that game?
I am going to kill you and the Dutch boys. Now, whenever I go up to Punk's Picnic up in Sydney,
Lord Among Us! That is what's going to happen. Guys, when he gets up to Sydney, I mean it, get heaps of you. Get heaps of you. Wait till he gets off the train. Be standing there, hundreds of you. Be standing there. Soon as he gets off, Lord Among Us! All dressed in all your like weirdest punk gear, spikes, studs, the lot. No one will know what the fuck is going on. They will think Mad Max is happening in Sydney. Yeah, fuck you, man. Yeah, fuck you.
yeah, that's
Yeah, fuck you.
yeah, that's pretty much it.
$50, $20 extra. I beat him to death with the cock.
What the fuck?
Value for money. This is why you have a promoter and manager, and you don't let some musician manage his own shit, because he will literally sell his ass for $5. I would at least sell his ass for 50
really?
and take 10.
Because all of us artists sell our asses at $5.
Yeah, well, you do. You do, because you're cheap.
Well, I'm cheap.
Yeah, everyone gets this one.
You see,
because
my
you're cheap.
cheeks
You think you
are
can do it all
going to-
yourself, so you're cheap.
My cheeks are going to white.
Yes, your
or
cheeks. Yes, your cheeks. Your cheap cheeks. But that does like all the musos get that joke out there. But it raises a very interesting point. Value for money. Now remember, extra $20, I'll beat him there on stage with a cock. Big fucking rubber one like in that movie, in that game. What's that game again? Fucking San Andreas. Remember for Xbox?
Oh yeah, and he dresses up in the gimp suit.
Yeah, and you can run around with a giant penis and beat people to death with a giant penis.
Carl
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I actually know where I can get one of those giant penises in Melbourne. I will go down and get one, and I'll extra $20, but you'll have to buy the giant penis. And I'm pretty sure they got purple ones down there too. One of my Lebanese mates like runs it down there.
You know, I had such a bad TV. I thought it was a pink dildo.
It was purple.
Well, I had
Well,
a
actually,
really bad
right,
TV.
the dildo in San Andreas, but like a bit of clarification here, was it pink or was it purple? I just think you wanted to see a pink dildo.
It might be
If you know
like
anything about this guy, he wanted to see a pink dildo.
it might be like the dress debate. You know, with the picture of the dress. Is it purple or was it?
No,
pink?
you just wanted to see a pink dildo.
Anyway, $5. I wipe my ass on his hat.
You gotta get near me first. And I reckon they will pay me to liquidate your nuts and then beat you to death on stage with a giant cock. It'd be like, and I'll even make the sound effects too. We'll make sure it makes one of those wiffle back noises when we beat him.
But yeah, like those old school games, they're all fucking great, man. Like the old school PS1 games and everything. One thing
I
we're going
remember
to be
Gran Turismo. I remember wasting many a weekend
Oh,
driving
yeah,
joke. I would be driving Transform 150 k's down across the fucking desert, dodging camels, cows, fucking the lot. Come home, jump on a PlayStation, and then play another game racing around the track.
Yeah. And that's something that we're going to be doing in the store, like the old arcade kind of machine.
Oh yeah. We're getting an old arcade machine, building an old arcade machine for the kids. Just
Yeah,
one,
because
you know,
like
kick
it actually, you know, exposes them to some of the older games that are out there, you know, and they're really good, man, you know. And that's
Oh, like, you kids go nuts with the retro games, but you know, us old people who grew up in that era, it's like, yeah, okay, that's pretty shit. I'll try something new. Because we actually like to have those high-end graphics that make us feel as part of the game. Because when we're kids, that's what you're doing.
oh my goodness! But some of the older classics that have been remade recently, like System Shock. and all that.
Actually, yeah. Some of the old classics they brought back are actually.
Yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, you know, like me and Maddie, we're massively into our computers and nerdy.
Oh
shit,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Young bloke, I was huge, and I still do a little bit of gaming now, but yeah, not so much now. Like if you can imagine, I actually used to be young. I wasn't born this hairy and old. You know, most people think I was like hatched from an egg or something. What had to be? You better have your hatched from an egg or carved from stone or something. There's nothing human about me.
Okay.
Well, that's true. I mean, actually, the story to that, like, this is really happened story. When I went to university in Darwin, a good old NTU. Now I went to Biley Point first, which was yeah, we had the highest amount of sexual harassment and complaints against us than any other university in Australia. Yet we were the smallest. And then it wasn't nasty stuff. It was just us running around naked, and we were pretty known for Biley Point. And yeah, well, I had my first threesome there. Where it was heavily haunted. It was the old hospital on top of the hill.
Yeah.
It was so haunted. One girl got pinned in her bed and like molested by a ghost. And we thought it was a bad thing. What turned out, same thing happened to me, and no, I wasn't molested. Even though at uni I probably got off on that. No, but it was a ghost, but it was a nurse. And what had happened, I was laying there in bed, and I'm laying there asleep, and I felt this hand under the sheet. No joke, it's like feeling all over my body. I could not move, it was feeling all over my body. And then it got over where I broke my leg a couple of years later when I got run over by a light
You know
truck.
what they call those? It's like a succubus or an incubus.
No, it wasn't that one. And it got down there, I was feeling around there where the break was. And then then suddenly I realised I tore up and it was all gone.
Yeah.
But this building, mate, was heavily haunted. And it's gone now. I mean, there's big apartments, everything. So anyway, I was at university and we had a golf day. Now, they used to call me Ogre back then. I used to have a bleach blonde mohawk, eyebrows mowed, goatee, 145 kilos, arms like that, shoulders like that. I was a big boy.
Yeah.
So I got down, we were going having a golf day, and I had the shirt cut off around here, the sleeves cut off. It said, "I'm not a human being, I am an animal," across the back. The classic. I had these shitty golfy pants, and I'd cut the arsehole out. So every time I get up there with the old arse out, the arse sticks out of the pants. Well, I got a lifelong ban from the Darwin golf course because of that. You still go there, I still have a lifelong ban. You might still find my photo buried there from the moment.
Talking about ghost stories, guys. If anyone has a ghost story, like, post it in the comments or something, you know.
Oh, you and your ghost story.
I love those things.
What is it?
Come
Look,
on.
what
Come
white
on.
people
Late
and
night.
spiritual angel go, they're like, "Oh, I'm going to walk into these blades of a fan." You know, elite Aboriginal people, it is pretty much like, "No, fuck that. I'm not screwing with that stuff. See you later."
Oh, yeah.
Yet we're always portrayed as the first person to die. Look, white people are spiritual lemmings. You will literally go head first into danger because it's like, "Oh, wow." Aboriginal person's like, "Nah, fuck that. That thing's going to kill me."
Yeah, it's a bit like the story. I heard
Spiritual
about-
lemmings. You are spiritual lemmings.
It's a bit like the story I heard about the guy who played Jason of the fucking Friday the 13th films.
Yeah.
And he was in a prison and they were doing one of the first investigations there. Kane Otter or something, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, whatever, I don't care.
You probably
But yeah, I'm drunk. Anyway, but yeah, like,
no, you're just wrong.
poo on the hat, $5.
Value for money, baby. Value for money.
Anyway, he's in there and he's notoriously investigating this really, you know, big prison in the US, and one of these guys is like, "I saw this black figure up near this cell." And he's like, "What? Where?" And he just goes and runs towards it.
Yeah.
He goes and runs
Yeah,
towards
spiritual
it.
living.
Like,
Spiritual living. Straight into hell. That's pretty much what white people do. Spiritual living. Straight in.
but yeah, like, you know, as I was saying before, though, you know, everyone likes a good ghost story when they're drunk, though, you know.
Oh yeah, everyone loves a ghost story until a ghost story actually fucking happens to you. I get it. Right, my
Yeah,
grandfather,
exactly.
Ori, you want your ghost story? My grandfather lived in a very famous haunted house in England. It's called the White House. It's around Nottingham. All the Englishers were going, "Oh fuck." Now, the story is, there's a very big mansion. The story is, my grandfather made the mistake once when he came out of the bathroom of saying, "I wish I saw a ghost in a haunted house." Now, when he said that, the bed started jumping up and down like poof, 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 poof. He jumped on the bed trying to hold it down. It was not working. So he runs down the room, runs down the hallway. It is like ice cold. He realises he's naked, runs back into the room. The bed's still jumping up and down like that. The shutters are slamming and shutting. He grabs his fucking clothes, he runs down the hallway, still cold. He's standing at the top of the stairs. He's putting his fucking clothes on. This cold hand goes on his back. He turns behind him, there's nothing there, and it pushed him down the stairs. Now, this house is notoriously evil. His auntie, who once stayed there, she'd be sleeping in the upstairs bedroom. She'd be screaming. This hand used to like come out of the wall and grab and pull her hair. A hand out of the wall would come and grab and pull her hair. Once, there was this dark entity in this room too, and it locked itself in there with her and shit, man. And she never came back.
Yeah,
It's a look it up. It's called the White House in England. It's called now the Haunted House around Nottingham. It was actually owned by my grandmother. Yeah, that's my family there on that side.
yeah.
We don't have any of that money, so fuck you. We work for all ours, including starting all the gold mines of West Australia.
Yeah, but yeah, like I have a story as well. It's a lot more lighter than that. But you know, like when I was a kid, I was actually I actually lived in a haunted house in Mitcham,
Yeah.
and apparently an old satanic witch was there, like a black witch,
Yeah.
and you know, like one day I'm coming home from school. And my mum is sitting outside on the step, and she's scared as hell.
Yeah.
You know, and with my mum, I've got to give a bit of history here. She's schizophrenic, so some things that she said back then I wouldn't, you know, take too seriously.
Yeah.
Because you know sometimes she was a bit, yeah. But yeah, like, you know, I asked my mum, what's wrong? And she's like, oh, there's this little remote control toy dog in your room. It's been following me around the house. It's been barking at me and all this kind of stuff. And
Toy possession, not a good thing.
And I'm just like,
They make
Mum,
movies on this shit.
whoa, you're okay. Like, let's go inside.
No, even in the old spiritual magic world, toy possession ain't a fucking good thing.
No, yeah, I'll elaborate on that actually. There is actually some very important points there.
Yeah, I know.
So,
toy possession ain't good at all.
we're actually going, I'll go inside and, you know, we go in there and I've calmed down my mum for about 30 minutes. And I'm out in the front and I'm watching that TV show, that children's TV show with the oh my goodness, it is the cartoon of the turtle who has all these animal friends and everything, and I'd eat my cheesecake and all this kind of stuff. So my mum comes out of the room, she's like, it's happening again, James, it's happening again. And I'm just like, okay, right. And I hear this little dog that I had, and it was like a toy dog, and you can only control it with like a remote controller. It came right out of my room, it was like, row, 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 and it turned. And you can't turn these toys because they don't actually turn. So the wheels don't actually turn on them.
Yeah.
So how the heck did it turn? It turns straight to me and it looks right at me, and then it stops. So you know, I go
You're
up
fucked,
to this.
sunshine.
I go up to this thing.
You're fucked.
I go up to this thing.
My original mate's good, he's fucked.
I go up to this
See
thing.
why I look after him, don't you?
I go up to this thing, and it's like barking at me. It is still barking at me, and I treat it like a little dog.
Devil
You
dog.
know, I felt like I had to
Fucking
treat it
don't
like
start
a
with
little
that
dog.
devil dog shit, mate. Like,
And I just sat there and I was like, oh, wow, you know, like it stopped. It stopped completely, and then I go through the bottom of it, and one of the batteries is missing in it, and I'm just like, well, how the fuck is this thing even going around? You know, like, and doing this, you know, like, and the thing about that house was, I would go through the backyard. So I go through, and there's this backyard, and there's a shed and bungalow right there, right? And on random nights, sometimes the light would turn on in the bungalow, and my parents would always get me to go up there because they're lazy fucks.
yeah.
But yeah, like, I go past the flower garden because my mum used to do loads of gardening. She loved it and everything, and you'd feel this like sense of evil.
Yeah.
It was so fun, freaking
You know when new houses get
Like-
haunted?
Mm.
We like anyone who's been to Broome, the Pink Palace up in Broome, that's my family house. We had that built up there. We sold it to a Victorian couple and Melbourne couple, and they painted it grey. It used to be this beautiful colour that would change colour depending whether it was sunset, storms, whatever. But it was just built, and these kids did a seance in where the spare bedroom was when it was still a frame. And well, shit got weird in this house, mate. We had a spare room built above where the lounge was, like not a spare room, a storage room. And it was just you come in through my parents' room, you'd go into the walk-in robe, and there would be a room in there. There's a little door room in there. It was all storage.
Yeah.
The light would always turn on in there. You turn it off, come back 5 minutes later, it'd be on, switched on.
Yeah, I had that, but when I went up to the bungalow and everything, I'd have to go inside that place.
Yeah, we'd have to,
And
mate, you'd have to
it
get on
felt-
all fours and crawl into this little hut. Mate, I'm not joking. You want to think horror movies? Imagine getting on all fours. There's a little door this big to crawl into a room. You know it's haunted because someone did a sale.
There is something though which I want to talk about here, but it is culturally sensitive.
What is it?
I used to have dreams about a little person.
Right, no, do not. No,
Yeah.
we don't talk about that.
Okay,
Right, that is
yeah.
it. That is, now you see why I have to look after him. My mob know what that means. They're cursed because they're idiots. They've done something wrong in Tasmania. I don't fucking know. Now you see why I look after him, don't you? Yeah, right, don't.
But yeah, like it, you know, there were other weird events
Smoke
like
the fucking
it,
house,
it,
thank
it,
you.
it felt like, you know, when I was in my bedroom, right, I'd wake up sometimes, and my bed was a bunk bed, so I was just like up around that point near the ceiling, right. I woke up one day.
They
and
blow
I
my
was just
fucking
like,
TV up, I'm going to liquidate your nuts on stage.
yeah, but
They blow my last TV up, I'm liquidating your nuts on stage.
Anyway, but yeah, like you know, I woke up one night and my nose was touching the ceiling, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And I dropped right down into my bed, and I'm just like, what? You know?
Yeah, right, we're going to leave all that there because of what it touched on. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, he's fucked. Anyone who knows what I know, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, he is definitely fucked. Yeah, sunshine. But anyway, yeah, see, this is why the big thing, you don't stuff with Indigenous culture, and it's...
I
it's-
never
it's
did.
close.
I
I
never
know
did.
you never did, but your ancestors can, it'll still fuck you up. In spirituality, you've told you it is strong. I know people think, oh, there's a load of shit. No, look, I have seen things out there in the bush that would, like, turn you whiter than you already are. I have, you know, they talk about the floating balls of lights and things like that, min-mins and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen
That
them.
is something-
I've seen many min-mins.
Yeah,
Many.
that's something I'd actually see around my bedroom window. It looked like someone was
No,
showing.
they'll probably looking out for you. You're probably fucking lucky. That's the ancestors. But yeah, you're fucking lucky. But yeah, min-mins, that's actually what they are. They're the ancestors. They're called petters in America, the Native Americans. They call them petters. Same thing, it's the ancestors. Science tries to explain them. My dad, when he used to drive trucks, same thing. He'd be driving trucks in the middle of the desert, and these balls of light would follow his truck.
Something
Follow him right across
something
the desert. We
interesting.
can talk about these things.
Yeah,
These are okay. These are
Something
good things.
very interesting as well, bringing up a point. I captured something years ago when I was actually travelling up north to Coffs Harbour, and I kept seeing this light up in the sky when my dad was driving his car up there.
Yeah.
I captured something that Australian Paranormal Society, when I actually submitted the photo in and actually messaged them about it, they were like, they were almost speechless at it. They were like, you've just caught one of the best photos of a min-min light ever captured in Australia.
Oh yeah, they're very hard to. No, I photographed these. They don't always show up on camera. This is a really weird thing about. You can see these things, and they're proof that they're like, okay. I had a girlfriend down here. I was dating for a while, and we drove up to Queensland to see my parents. Now we're driving up through the Blue Mountains, and she's asleep in the passenger seat. And this ball of light is following my little Toyota Echo, and it's dropping sparks, you know, like somebody using a grinder. Yeah, it's dropping sparks all over the car. I'm waking my girlfriend up. She wakes up and it takes off and disappears. And I told her, and she goes, oh, you know, you smoke too many drugs. I was like, well, fuck you, I did smoke a lot of drugs, but I've been smoking drugs for years of driving, and never done that before. And, well, anyway, we pulled up to the next service station, got out of the fucking car, and look, and there was like these little black ash spots all over the car, like somebody with an angle grinder had been using it near the fucking car.
What's actually fascinating about these things is they're actually scientific anomalies. the whole Hoia Baciu forest inside of Romania.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
get a
yeah.
lot of that.
Oh, they do.
And-
We have them here in Australia too, but we won't talk. We don't tell people where they are because you're going to be part of the culture to know where they are. But we do have these in Australia. Yes.
I do know a few locations. I
Yeah.
won't say.
Yeah, good idea.
Definitely, I definitely.
Because
won't.
they are ancestral grounds. They are. So if you're going, you know where these areas are, and you are going to go and see, like double check with the local Indigenous people, see what times you can go out there. Because I guarantee you, like, and I cannot stress this enough. Like even things like Picnic Rock and things like that up there, and I really shouldn't even say the name. But yeah, don't go over there and stuff around with the things because that.
No, definitely not.
In the movie,
I-
that stuff is powerful. You'll disappear in the rock, and no one will see you again. I'm not joking when I'm actually wholeheartedly telling you you will disappear into the rock and never be seen again.
But yeah, this is something that I will say here. Aboriginal culture, especially in Australia, it's like 80,000
Yeah,
years
it's,
old.
it's very ancient. Some of the verbal stories Aboriginals tell are about meteorite strikes that happened almost 200,000 years ago.
And the thing is here is with how many words of power that have actually been spoken in those cultures, and it's
Yeah.
words of power. So you need to be a
And
part
you've
of
got
the
to
tribe.
remember that many
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of years of belief system is going to leave some type of spiritual residue.
Oh,
So
yeah,
respect
definitely.
it.
Definitely,
You know,
because
like
because
I
of how much
had all
power
my
is
Aboriginal
put into
mates are going to message me later and go, "Oh, I love how you turned that around because of what you were doing." I love how you
I'm
turned
sorry,
that
I'm sorry,
I
I
know,
don't-
because you
I
don't
don't-
understand the implications of it.
I don't
And that's
actually-
understandable, but that is why it's very important
Mm.
to learn about these little things. Because, yeah, there's a whole range of things we don't talk about openly because you could summon a bad spirit. You
Yeah.
understand? That's why when somebody dies in an Aboriginal culture, like my friends who have passed and their kids, yeah, I've lost mates' kids as well as mates, because look, young people die up there. Youth suicide up there is worse than anywhere in the world.
I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah, that's right. That gives me time to say, youth suicide rate up there amongst Indigenous people is worse than most war zones. It's absolutely
Definitely.
shocking. And that's why we really do need to spend the time to learn more about Indigenous culture, learn more about these cultural things, because I can't speak the names of my friends who passed away. And it's because if I say their name, if I say my tribal mother's name who passed away as well, it's going to bring their ghost. And what that means is that when the ghost comes back, the pain, all that pain and hurt because you brought them up, comes with it. You know, that's why I don't like, that's why we don't mention names like that. So it's really important that all of you out there take the time to read up on things on Indigenous culture, because a lot of it applies universally. Like things here in Australia actually do apply in Latin America and in the Pacific. Some of it also applies up in Eastern Europe and Siberia and things like that. There are
Yeah.
many types of Indigenous, and it is nothing to do with skin colour and everything to do with the culture you come from.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, and that's something which people need to understand as well. You know, with white Indigenous culture as well.
It's got it's got strong similarities with Aboriginal and Australian Indigenous.
You know how we perceive that shouldn't be based on politics as well.
Or
I hate
identity politics.
I hate when people actually appropriate runes and different other things
Or when
and
they,
different other
when they say,
spiritual
but
language
Europeans have
symbols.
Indigenous people, and they don't even know who the Samoa are, and things like
yeah,
that.
yeah, Samoyed people.
And I'm going to be clear on this. The Samoyed people in the 70s suffered the same as every other Indigenous group around the world when there was mass sterilisation of Indigenous people. It happened in Europe too, and you Europeans did it to your own Indigenous people. So don't ever think that you can say, oh, that was America and Australia. No, you did it to your own Indigenous people as well. You are just as rotten and just as bad. So you lefties who think that, oh, because my ancestors were working class, we didn't. Yeah, guess what? You did. So no more of the identity politics stuff. You all did it. Just accept it and we can move on.
Yeah. It is around 2 a.m. now.
It is. Did we get the 3 hour slot?
Yeah.
Oh my God, we did well.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this content, honestly, because, you know, you enjoy us having our shit stirs and telling our stories, even doing our band reviews, doing our movie reviews, all that kind of shit.
Yeah.
You know?
You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? He does not know what I'm talking about, does he? He won't guess either because he's too drunk. I'm going to have a great night tonight, people. I'm going to have a wonderful night. I'll sit out here and get drunk. Alright, when he goes to bed and has a wank, I might even jump on the camera again and have a laugh.
Alright. Okay.
Alright, fuckers. Matty here in Melbourne at the Big Fat Koala. We will see you next week. I'll do an interview this week. Lena, yeah, I'll drop you a message, mate. I'd love to do you girls next week. Like, do you want to put you on the interview? And yeah, it'll be great to see you. Alright, see you, fuckers.
Alright, see you later.